was less than 2 years ago that Orozco closed out the Mets' dream season. But in New York, the 1987 season was one just as soon forgotten. They made a run at the Cards, but on this September night at Shea, Terry Pendleton's 2-out 9th-inning homer drove the last nail into their coffin. And now the tranquility of spring training has been shattered by Darryl Strawberry's controversial remarks in a national magazine. The Mets are plenty good, and as always, there's plenty of turmoil surrounding them. They'll face the Dodgers next. Spring training baseball on NBC.
In its 7th decade of bringing you baseball's memories.
The count of 1-0, and he rips it, but it's foul. And you're absolutely right. Another one hit hard, and it will be in foul territory. And had a great year last year as a starting pitcher. And this one is deep to right, long gone. Goodbye. Seven batters up, and 7 batters have scored.
Shortstop, number 31, It's the crack of the bat, the most distinctive sound in American sports. It triggers 1,000 memories of victories and defeats, of half-forgotten childhood dreams. It's the sound of baseball, a game that's part of the fabric of American life like nothing else. No other game has so rich a history or has produced so many national heroes. Each spring, baseball comes alive again. It reasserts its special kind of beauty, shoulders other sports out of the headlines, and reestablishes itself as our national game.
NBC Sports Spring Special. Baseball 88, A Fresh Start is one.
This here's the talk and nostalgia 1987 baseball season blues. When the season started, we were still transfixed by the tragic magic they call Game 6 when the Red Sox met their moment of truth, the tenacious Mets and the ghost of Ruth. And in New England, they'd already opened the champagne. But 87 was its own kind of season with its own kind of rhyme and its own kind of reason. Holdouts for bigger salaries who started the year as absentees and settled for more or less what they'd been offered in the first place. In 87, there were more guys walking with the strike zone trinket and all that balk and sandpaper, nail file, scuff balls, and spitters. Still, 87 was the year of the hitter, and even home runs lost some of their sheen as the exception became mere routine. What's that, another home run? Ho-hum, ho-hum. I wonder what that bat's made of. Now, some might say that piddling in bottles is no fit job for a big role model, but the Mets had to start without Dwight Gooden because there are some things you shouldn't put in your nose. There's some things you shouldn't put in your mouth, like your foot. We saw that bird whose fate was cursed. We saw Lloyd Mosby stealing first, but the weirdest side, it seems to me, was Steinbrenner's equanimity for a while at least. Hell, nothing lasts forever, especially Steinbrenner's equanimity. Now, in postseason, old St. Louis taught the arrogant Giants a thing or two and then found out what poor Detroit went through when they got a case of Twin City blues where all the ball players are above average. No shy persons in that part of Minnesota. And as we watched the season end, we thought of things that might have been a series in Canada, who knows when, or a Subway series once again. The Indian uprising that vanished in air, Milwaukee's surge that went nowhere, Paul Molitor who hit them so he thought he might catch DiMaggio, and Mark McGuire, a robust youth who for a while kept pace with Ruth. And amidst the tears and fears and cheers, some guys had one hell of a year. Jeff Leonard, Don Mattingly, Mike Schmidt, Santiago Coleman, Ryan Clemens, and Boggs. But this is now, that was then, and it's time to do it all again. The resurrection of us all, the mighty rite of spring. Play ball.
That was then, but this is now. In order
Folks say the more things change, The more things tend to stay the same. When things change, things feel strange. And some things never change, it's true. Then again, some things do. Dwight Gooden has changed his name to Doc. The Yanks must show blue on their socks. Olympics took our George away. Bo Jackson's even changed his game. But some things never change. George Brett still swings with a mighty will. Darryl Strawberry's still uphill. Morgana's out there kissing still. Some things never change, it's true. Then again, some things do. Jackson and Garvey both retired. Wrigley Field is finally wired. Davis is a Superman. Horner's come back from Japan, but some things never change. Steve Carlton won't talk to anyone. Guerrero and Marshall feuding on. Whitey and Marv ain't talking yet, and everyone still hates the Mets. Some things never change, it's true. Then again, some things do. Butler's gone to the Frisco Bay as Chili Davis went away. Ex-twin Baylor's with the A's. Gibson's traveled to L.A. Gossage left old San Diego. Jack Clark's now the Yankees man. Lee Smith is eating beans and clams. To the A's, Gabe Parker goes. Tired of fighting with Pete Rose. Bob Welch also joins the A's, but some things never change. Bad pennies turning up again. The cyclical fortunes of recycled men. Lousy weather on opening day. Organ music at Fenway. The thrill a Grand Slam homer brings. It still ain't over till the fat lady sings. And baseball's still our favorite game. Some things never change.
The biggest change in baseball. Once again, the Mets are favored to win the National League East, but the question is, will turmoil off the field affect their performance on it? And on the field, the Mets are tearing up the Grapefruit League. What many consider to be the best pitching staff in baseball is healthy. The hitting is with power. But once again, Darryl Strawberry has rocked the clubhouse, this time with criticism of his teammates.
I was hurt by it because in my whole life I've never been a quitter. Darryl coming out with the comments that he did, whether or not they really did come from his mouth or not, is something that we'll never know 100%. He said to me face to face that he never said those things. As far as I'm concerned, it's over and done with, and I'm just looking for this season.
Just sometimes Darryl doesn't think that when it comes out and it makes the big story, you know, he's very apologetic. I know the first day it came out, he came right to me first and apologized.
I wasn't saying anything to hurt anybody. I was explaining on what happened last year. You know, questions was asked about certain guys, what happened to certain guys last year, why didn't they play well. I said, well, you know, maybe they was having bad years, maybe they was having problems. Who knows, you know, what was going on. I mean, you can't, you know, point fingers at guys and say, well, this guy didn't do this and he didn't do that. See, I'm not that type of person. I wouldn't do that to my teammates because we're in this together.
For two of the Mets' former All-Stars, 87 was an off year statistically. Both Gary Carter and Keith Hernandez now must listen to the whispers that they're getting old.
Any player that gets, like I'm 34, any player when he gets older, those questions always are inevitably going to come up. I don't feel I have anything to prove, but I use it as a motivational factor. I've been lifting weights and working out yearly now for 2 years.
I have felt probably the best I've felt in about 4 years, and it's a nice feeling because I don't have the kind of aches and pains that I've been experiencing in the past couple of years. So I've just got a great optimistic outlook for this year.
They're great players. You know, it seems that if they don't have a great year, they're on the downside. But as far as I'm concerned, they're still in their prime.
Also under pressure is rookie shortstop Kevin Elster, who had a good taste of the big leagues in 1986, taking home a World Series ring. Elster remembers the pressures and his biggest fears.
Making errors. Going in the World Series Game 7 and making an error and screwing up for those guys, because I felt that, you know, I didn't get them there, but I could screw it up for them. I could make everything bad. So my biggest fear was going out and making an error.
Do you feel pressure?
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a team full of stars, you know, and I don't feel I have to do a whole bunch, but just Just be out there, do what I can do, play defense, and I think everything's going to click. And as time goes on, I'm going to be able to hit, and big part of the club.
2 years ago, I thought he could, be an Alan Trammell type player. Got a little stronger, and he kept progressing, and certainly last year the numbers he put up in Tidewell were phenomenal. He hit .308 and drove in about 70-some runs.
Manager Dave Johnson is also under the gun, a feeling that has become routine for the Mets in demanding New York.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm like anybody else. I'm like a first-year manager. I don't win. They have a right to hang me up. Ralph Houk warned me, when we won it. He said, I really messed up, now, because I'm going to have to win it every year. Otherwise, I'm going to be an underachiever, and that's the nature of the business.
Sports Channel's Subway Series summer is underway as the Mets open the 1988 season north of the border against the Montreal Expos. Can the Mets win back their National League championship this season? Dwight Gooden takes to the mound this afternoon, joined by battery mate Gary Carter, Keith Hernandez, Darryl Strawberry, and the rest of the 88 Mets. New York Baseball 88 is underway. The Mets against the Montreal Expos next, live and exclusively right here on Sports Channel, home of the Subway Series summer.
Mets baseball. Today, the Mets take on the Montreal Expos. Hello again, everybody. I'm Fran Healy, along with Ralph Kiner and Tim McCarver, and we'll bring you all the action as the Mets open up baseball 88 here in Montreal, Canada.
Mets winners of 108 games 2 years ago, and last year slipped by 16 to 92. And Davey, I guess more than anything else, the most pertinent things, you've got to be happy because your pitchers are healthy this year.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Timmy. It's important this spring to see how my starters felt. My top 7 pitchers were hurt last year. And then the other big thing was my relievers. I was really concerned about McDowell. He overthrew last year and his ball straightened out, and he didn't have a good year. So he's throwing that good sinker now, and Randy McDowell's throwing good, so we feel good about our staff.
Ralph and Franny touched on Kevin Elster at shortstop. Is he nervous? Your plans on handling him the spring that he had in general?
Well, I was concerned in the spring and making sure he didn't start pressing really in the spring, and he did that a little early, and I had to talk to him a couple of times and set him down, and he had a great spring, and that was important so that he'd feel like he belongs in this ball club, and he's an integral part to it, and he's relaxed, and I look for him to have a great year.
Any other problems that you foresee in the early going?
I really don't. I think the division's going to be real strong, and I really like my ball club. I think we're geared up not only physically but mentally to have a great year.
And as far as your pitching is concerned, again, you've got to be happy they're healthy. I mean, after all, Gooden and McDowell were both missing last year.
Well, we had a lot of unfortunate things happen to us last year, and I feel we learned from it, and we're hungry this year, and we're out to have a good time, and it's going to be tough on the rest of the clubs.
Well, good luck to you, Davey. The Mets, strong favorites this year in the National League East, but the Montreal Expos certainly will have something to say, along with a couple of other teams. Now let's go back to the...
They're awfully strong at off. He'll be in center field. Tim Teufel, in spite of the fact that a right-hand pitcher is going, he has won the regular job at second base, batting second and playing second. Keith Hernandez batting third, playing first base, batting fourth in right field. Darryl Strawberry, who hit over 400 this spring, batting fifth and playing left field. Kevin McReynolds batting sixth, the catcher Gary Carter, batting seventh and playing third base Howard Johnson, batting eighth the shortstop Kevin Elster, and Dwight Gooden, the pitcher, batting ninth.
And defensively,
and he has been honored by throwing out the first ball.
And Rusty's been popular wherever he's played. Montreal, New York, Detroit. A nice guy. Does a nice job at the restaurant on 3rd Avenue. I understand he's opening up another one at 5th Avenue.
Had an earned run average of 3.21, was in 25 ball games. All as a starting pitcher, had 7 complete games, one of them a shutout. He worked 172 thirds innings, gave up 160. Curveball hit hard to right, way back, going, and it is off the wall. Webster on his way to third. The ball bobbled in the outfield by Tim Teufel, and Webster goes into third with a triple. And this ball line to center, base hit, and Montreal takes the lead 1-0. Once was held by Andre Dawson. This ball is hit hard to center. Dykstra in, now back, and he makes a great catch after misjudging the ball. Brooks back to first base. and a hard out.
Here's a Major League center fielder making a Major League catch. Good play by Lenny Dykstra. So Lenny Dykstra making a fine play. Ball hit by Tim Wallach. Wallach drove that ball very well. Well, opening day, everybody with butterflies, and I guess even it quickens up your bat. If these guys look like they're hitting the ball off the tee.
Good curveball, and Gooden gets his first strikeout. That ends the inning. Montreal 1 run on 2 hits, and 2 were left. The score at the end of 1. Montreal 1, the New York Mets nothing. Last year with 39 home runs, 104 RBIs with 36 stolen bases.
Roger Clemens struck out Corey Snyder about 8 straight times.
This ball hit deep to center field, way back. Whoa. It's gone. Goodbye. A tie ball game at 1, and Strawberry gets his first home run of the year.
Probably looking, if he stays healthy, that could be the most valuable player in the National League here in 1988. Darryl Strawberry. You can hurt your back doing that, Darryl. You're too tall to be going down with the low 5. Sammy Perlaza, the third base coach, he's down there for the low 5. Darryl's going to pop those muscles in his lower back.
That is the 3rd year that Darryl Strawberry's had a home run in his first game of the season.
This has to be the longest one, though. Dennis Martinez throwing that curveball. Darryl going down and just smoking that ball. Look at Mitch Webster. He knows it's gone.
Every one of the home runs that Darryl Strawberry has hit in his first game of the season have been in his first at bat. And here he has done it for the 3rd time. What a way to start a season.
He's really got it together this year. He said he feels...
Did not have a home run against him last year. And Strawberry doing something rather unordinary. A home run is first to bat for the 3rd time in the start of the season. There's no doubt about that one, Fran.
Ball's hammered.
So Darryl Strawberry off to a, because you don't really need location on the curve. There goes Dykstra. The throw on down to second is not in time, and Dykstra has his first stolen base of the year after being picked off first base in the 1st inning.
Really criticized.
No pitch is time. Oh, a balk is called. Now a balk is called, this time by Harry Wendelstedt.
And he says you didn't stop.
So the runners move up. So far this year, in one official at bat, as he has walked intentionally in his 2nd appearance.
Almost any situation.
This ball hit out toward the middle, knocked down by Foley. A good play there to save a run. As the Mets get a run, Dykstra scores from 3rd on the base hit. Hernandez had to stop at 3rd base. This one popped up again in foul territory. Keith over, does he have room? And he makes a good play in front of the camera section there. That play was not an easy one. The ball not hit very high, and he had to worry about all those cameras.
Hit it right in the nose, Ralph. Watch Keith. He even reacts to the cameras as he gets close. Shading his head, getting his head out of the way. He felt he was going to run into one of the lenses.
Take that wide end.
But I think it's being overemphasized, the move to first base, and probably too much in Dwight Gooden's case.
This ball looped out toward left field. Going forward is the shortstop, Elster. He makes a dive. And he makes a catch. What a play by Kevin Elster. And that was as spectacular a play as you can see. That ends the inning as Foley is out.
Well, this is the reason they want to put Kevin Elster at shortstop. He went a long way. McReynolds could not have gotten this ball. What a glove by Kevin Elster. Outstanding play.
Certainly saved a run, and the Mets still leading as we go to the top of the 4th by a score of 2-1.
On defense, the jury's out as to his offense, even though he did hit .312 last year. Tidewater deep to left field, Raines back. This ball is out of here. Home run, Kevin Elster, 4-1 New York. Maybe the jury has just returned.
That was a very short jury. Boy, did he hit that ball a long way.
Mercy.
Kevin with 8 home runs last year at Tidewater and his first home run this year. And I want to tell you, that ball was up there about 25 rows deep. There was no doubt about it. Well, the Mets had not hit a home run off Martinez all last year when he was 4-0 against them and had an earned run average of 0.64. But right here, they get their second home run of this ball game. Strawberry the first, and Elster gets a 2-run home run, his first of the year.
So after that sparkling defensive play, Fran also talking to him before the game. It's ball 2 to Gooden, 2-0, and Reed wants to was talking about. He's going to bring are gone, and butterflies are free, right?
Boy, they got to be gone now. That is his first major league home run. Wow. And it was a major league home run.
Home run, so talk about it.
Well, I'll tell you, this is a major league home run, his first in the major leagues, and he gets that low fastball, and there is no doubt about it. He knows it's gone. He's going to enjoy it as he goes down the line, watching as Rock Raines turns around to see if it's going to be in the upper deck or not. It's back there about 20 rows.
So Kevin in his home run trot with a bat. He was intentionally walked his second time up. Lined up the middle. Good play, Rivera. Infield hit for Strawberry, but Rivera really shows that the left.
He's the only pitcher, with the exception of Spud Chandler, to have a winning percentage of over 700.
Wow. What a play by Elster to Tuffle, safe at second. Kevin Elster with another sparkling play to no avail.
Well, he has certainly shown range out here in today's ball game. Made a spectacular catch of a ball in left center field near the foul line. Right here, he makes a great catch of a ball hit fairly hard over the middle. Tuffle unable to get there to make the tag.
Well, that's close at second base.
Makes a good throw here from this position.
Yeah, and it beat. Wow.
11th hit off Gooden.
It's a staggering difference. Lined at Elster. So the Expos continue to hit Gooden hard. They tie it here in the 5th inning. They do it on 2 runs, 4 hits, and they strand 2. They have stranded 8 in the game, and that's the total number of runs scored, 4-4.
Safety will be.
Change up is high, so a fine at bat by Dave Magadan working out the walk. That'll bring up a leadoff batter, Len Dykstra. 1-2 to Len. 4-4 ball game. Well hit to center. Webster's going to go back, way back, and this ball is out of here. Home run, Len Dykstra. And the weightlifting has helped already.
Center field home run by Lenny Dykstra with 2 men on base, and the Mets lead it by a score of 7-4. And that is their 3rd home run in this ball game off Dennis Martinez, who did not give up a home run to the Mets last year when he won 4-0. And there's the happy Lenny Dykstra.
And you'll never get on him again.
I was all over him about his little weak hits before the ball game. He says he was going to do that this year, but right here, a monstrous home run to center field. And the Mets go in front by 3. Dykstra with just 10 home runs last year, but a big one here in this first game this year. 404 feet to that center field fence, and that ball over the wall. And Buck Rogers has to be saying, did I go too long with Martinez?
Have I stayed?
David taking over for Dwight Gooden, who is on the plus side now with the Mets leading by a score of 7-4 on the 3-run home run by Lenny Dykstra, going last year with a record of.
It's 4-4 St. Louis at Cincinnati in the 12th. And 5-1 San Francisco over the Dodgers. Bottom of the 5th inning.
Speaking of home runs, there's a long drive. That ball is out of here. Home run, Darryl Strawberry.
That ball may have hit the lights up there. It may have hit the top of the stadium. I think it did. Darryl slowed down. I can't believe it. That ball hit the top of the stadium.
Oh, he's going to get hurt.
He might get hurt with that swing, but not with that handshake.
It's tough getting down that low when you're 6'6". Oh, boy.
You can get anywhere you want to with that kind of strength.
Boy, has he hammered the ball today. First game of the season for the Mets.
This ball hits the top of the stadium. Now, it didn't hit the orange in the stadium. We think it hit the concrete going around the stadium.
And Kevin McReynolds, it's out of here. Home run, McReynolds.
What's going on here? Is this a circus?
Unbelievable. Kevin McReynolds going to the bridge. 2 runs here in the 7th inning.
And at this pace, the Mets as a team will have 810 home runs. They had 5 today. So if they can keep it up, and if Bell can keep it up, we're going to have some kind of season this year.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, as soon as the ball leaves the bat of Strawberry, it's gone. Then McReynolds steps up and he hits one, it's gone. Let's see what happens here. Carter.
That's the highest home run I've ever seen, I'll tell you that.
Carter takes outside ball 1.
You know, Fran, Webster and Brooks both went for the ball thinking they didn't know what it hit. I guarantee you, I didn't know what it hit. I didn't know what was going on out there. The ball hit the top of the stadium.
Hubie Brooks was confused.
So was I.
Yeah, so was I. I knew it was going out of someplace. That ball's popped up. Left field, Raines stays in the ballpark, so he catches it. 1 down.
You know, Franny, it's conceivable that if the roof were not on the thing, that ball might have been hit out of the stadium.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's conceivable. We don't know where it hit.
That's quite a bolt, that roof up there. Now you see the padding, the roof of the stadium, and we think it hit up there near the concrete.
Oh, of course that material is that Teflon, and it's bulletproof, so he can't hit it out of here with the roof on. You can't even shoot one out of here. It's bulletproof.
Well, I'll tell you, he's got a shot at it. Didn't Dave Kingman hit one down the left field? He hit a home run. How about Lenny Dykstra?
Lenny can't even see that far. Steve Garland, the trainer, saying, there it is, Len, right up there. See, way up there. And Lenny's saying, boy, that's a poke.
Lenny's saying, well, what about my home run? Whole 10? How high is that ceiling?
I don't know. Is that about, what, 210 feet or something like that?
That's a bolt.
In the dome about that, 210 or something like that?
That's close.
We've got too many things to check in this game.
He's got 2 in this game.
George Bell has already broken well, it's never been done before. It's not a long-standing record.
Mets on top of the Expos. And Darrell picks up a cheap single.
If that was higher, it'd have been out of here.
I know it. He gets the hardest base hits I've seen.
How about his day today? 2 solo home runs and 2 singles. However, he was caught stealing in the 5th inning.
Yeah, that's a bad game.
Boy, that's terrible.
Oh, he hits the ball.
How can you have that happen on a day like today? Oh, man. He double clutches on this curveball. Darrell obviously delighted. Watch this. It shows you how strong he really is. Front foot, fooled, rope to right.
Ralph Kiner's happy about those hips opening up.
And also give... Well, that's a great throw right there.
There's a long drive, and that ball's gone. Home run, Kevin McReynolds, his 2nd of the game.
And that breaks a major league record for home runs by one team on opening day. How about that?
Oh,
it sound like
I know it.
My fault.
That ball shot out of the ballpark. Oh, boy.
And this is also the last time the Mets had 5 home runs in a game was in Montreal, June of last year. They've done it 7 times. The first time they've had 6 in a game. Holy cow.
Balls are jumping over the wall here in Montreal, especially off the bat.
smokes an inside fastball with the count 2-1. And at this pace, go ahead, Freddie.
962 home runs.
I don't know. It better have been that, though.
Fly ball, right field. Darryl Strawberry's there, makes the play for out number 3, and the Mets have their first win in 1988.
Strange game, man.
Boy, it really is. And the Mets picking up their first win, obviously, over the Expos. Opening day here at Olympic Stadium, 55,000 on hand. And as the Mets congratulate one another,
I want to congratulate you.
And I'll congratulate you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulate Ralph.
Right. Nice going, Ralph.
And Ralph left. And we'll be back with more right after these messages. Strawberry just clobbering this ball.
Well, you know, one of the interesting things also is Hubie Brooks, this is the first time he started in right field, first major league game. You know, he's got to be saying, wait a minute, is it going to always be like this? Look at Darryl now. Darryl stops. Hubie picks the ball up, throws it to Candell, and Candell saying, wait a minute, it's a home run. Darryl didn't know. He continues his trot home, and when you hit one that far, you ought to be able to trot.
I'm telling you, he's going to hurt his back going down, slapping hands. Okay, right now, how about the Texaco star of the game?
I don't know if we've decided that, but I think it's an easy decision.
I was going to say,
even though Kevin McReynolds had 2 home runs also, but Darryl, because of this.
Harry McWilliams on in relief. Cal Jack Daniels sends one to right center field, and here it is. Jeff Treadway motors home. Yes, you get it. And in 12, it was Cincinnati 5 and the Cardinals 4. The Reds have won 5 straight opening day games. Meanwhile, at Montreal, the Mets were at the Expos. Rookie Kevin Elster doing it in the field. The young shortstop for the Mets got to fill big shoes on this talent-laden squad. Makes the long run and down the left field line on Tom Foley's pop. Then, second man up the next inning was Elster in the 4th inning. Off Dennis Martinez. He sends this one au revoir, and the Mets lead it 4-1. The Expos have tied it at 4 in the 6th with 2 outs. Lenny Dykstra sends this one to center field. And it is gone. 7-4, the Mets lead it. Strawberry had 2 home runs. Kevin McReynolds had 2 home runs. Never before in opening day history has one team had 6 home runs. The Mets did it. And so, despite the fact that Doc Johnny B. Good did not pitch well, the Mets beat the Expos 10-6. Pitching well.
The Twins. Mets won't go undefeated, gang. They lost yesterday. A former Met helps get the Expos on their way to a 5-1 finish up in Montreal. Bottom of the 1st against Ron Darling. Here's Hubie Brooks with a ground ball down the left field line. Mitch Webster makes his way in from second, and it's 1-0 Expos. Bottom of the 3rd. Webster's turn at the plate, ripping it down the right field line. Now watch this. Darryl Strawberry's effort won't exactly make it on an instructional video. The official score calls it a triple and an error. And Webster comes all the way around to make it 3-0 at the time. Bottom line, Expos beat the Mets 5-1 as Pascal Perez strikes out 9, including Howard Johnson. Ron Darling gets the loss. And in Montreal tonight, Bobby Ojeda makes his 88th debut for the Mets. Neil Heaton works for the Expos.
Live from Olympic Stadium in Montreal, Canada, WWOR-TV presents Mets Baseball 88. As tonight, the Mets take on the Montreal Expos. Mets Baseball 88 is
13 RBIs at .338 against right-hand pitching. This ball hit the deep right center field. It'll be extra bases. It's 1 hop off the fence, and Mookie on his way to 3rd, and he'll go in easily. Ball gets away, and it is back up by Heaton, so Mookie holds at 3rd base, and the Mets have a base hit with their leadoff batter.
I don't think anybody could have handled the situation of Len Dykstra and Mookie Wilson any better than Mookie Wilson has. He's expressed a desire to be traded, but in the process, he has not allowed that expression of that desire to get in the way of his preparing for the season. And that's
Ground ball up the middle, a base hit for Keith. Mookie Wilson comes in to score from third, and the Mets take the lead 1-0 as Keith Hernandez comes through. And ball 4, and he walks in a run. So the Mets now lead by a score of 2-0 and 3 walks in the inning. Mets leading 2-0. And Elster hits a little blooper back a second. Good play by Rivera, and they call the runner safe at second base, Howard Johnson, and then the tag is made. Does a run count? It does.
Well, I'll tell you what, Randy Marsh says the run counts, but because Darrell was watching the play, in my opinion, the run didn't count.
Randy Marsh.
Tuffle's got a slide right here. Why he didn't slide, I don't know. That's why he overruns the bag. Now watch him go past the bag, and he's tagged out. But in my opinion, from the naked eye, I didn't think Strawberry had touched home.
Season. Last year he was 3-5 with an earned run average of 3.88, walked 10, struck out, react that way. Fine record against Montreal last year, and there it is again. He gets his first strikeout in a 1-2-3 inning. The score at the end of 3, the Mets 3 and the Expos nothing. Now here's a word from the.
It's really thrilling. It's not the same feeling the pitcher has, but it's thrilling nonetheless. Well hit deep to left field. Gary Carter has his first home run of the year. 4-2 New York.
Well, they had put the shift on against Gary Carter, moving the second baseman over on the shortstop side. But they didn't put the outfielders high enough. Carter gets his first home run. That's a landmarker right there. He got all of this one. Pitch is up, and it's a fastball. And there was no doubt about it. Last year, Carter had only 1 home run against Montreal. Now he has one right here.
Strike to Johnson. Mojo walked.
Range coming over, and this ball hit on the line. This is a clothesliner all the way, and he takes it right off the top of the AstroTurf.
Wow.
And catches it before it hits the ground. What a play.
In the olden days, Ralph, that ball wouldn't have been caught. Mitch Webster again going for 2. The throw out at second base. Lee Mazzilli 2 steps to his right, and he robs Webster of a double with the fine throw. 1 out. What's happening here?
Well, Lee going over there and coming up with an accurate throw into second. Webster, even though the team is trailing by 2, trying to make a double out of it. And the tag is made by Tuffle, and the call is made by second base umpire Harry Wendelstadt.
Steve Garland's going to work on it.
Tell you, if you're a trainer nowadays, you really have to be a leathersmith. Look at it, went right through it. Thought it went off his glove. It just went right through it.
Line drive, base hit up the middle. Here comes Mookie around third. Webster charging, and the throw offline. Now Hernandez going to second, and he's in there. Good base running by Keith Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
As he rounded first with a wide turn to be sure that the ball was not cut off, and the Mets take the lead 5-4 on Hernandez's second RBI of the game.
And you see this as much as anything, advanced runners. It's tough enough to advance runner, but you don't want your defense to do it. And that's what Webster did. You're not going to get Wilson. And coupled with that, you make the high throw. You don't allow your first baseman, Galarraga, to cut it off.
Fastball high and deep to left center field. Webster going back, and it is gone. Another home run and another Titanic home run for Darryl Strawberry. Mets lead 7-4.
Oh my goodness, was that awesome. He has hit 3. I'm telling you, mere mortals would have to hit balls like 3 times to get it that far. The one the other night, they said, they being a crew from McGill University, said it was 525 feet. Folks, that is just awesome strength. He just powered, muscled the ball out of here. And it clears the fence by like 30 feet. See, Darrell's never going to be a pull hitter because he wraps the bat. He's got so far to come with that bat.
That's why he hits a lot of the balls back in the strike zone. But it just doesn't matter. He could small up any ballpark in the major leagues. Awesome. Awesome.
Well, we'll contemplate that while Andy McGaffigan comes into the game, and Neil Heaton chased by that monstrous home run. We'll return to the Big O with the Mets now up by 3 after this for Mike.
Worth another look. Look at the bat curl. Look at that now. He's got to come all the way around. He just overpowers the ball. Boy, what a swing. My goodness. Andy McGaffigan in one ball game, and he's spelling Neil Heaton.
And Gary Carter hits the first pitch deep to left, and this one is gone. Carter's second home run of the ball game, and the Mets third, and they now lead 8-4. Ordinarily does not hit well in this ballpark since leaving here with 2 home runs, having by far his best day as a Met at the Big O so far.
And 2, and Carter gets drilled with a fastball that gets him on what appeared to be the elbow. So Carter pays for the 2 home runs.
Fastball just bearing in on Gary, and of course Gary really moves into a pitch, a dead pull hitter. Or he will rock it to right. Darrell has not hit a ball anything other than hard since this season began.
Now he's 8 for 12 now this season with 3 home runs. This ball was a shot. If he'd have gotten underneath it just a bit, it would have been out of here in a moment's flick of a moment.
St. Clair threw up his hands.
Well, he held him to a single. I guess that's a victory right there.
That is true.
Pops it up, however. Kevin Elster right there. And the Mets hold on to win it 8-5 and take 2 of the first 3 in the opening series here in Montreal for 1988. An exciting 9th inning, but a Mets victory nonetheless as Bob Ojeda pitches 7 innings to pick up his first win of 1988. And Neil Heaton goes 4 1/3 for Montreal and winds up the loser 0-1 on the year. Ralph and I'll be back to wrap this one up, so stay with us as the Mets defeat the Montreal Expos 8-5. We're back after this for Michelob.
Average at 3.81, walked 67, struck out 134. Gave up only 130 hits in 156 innings. He is amazing. As you saw, Parrish hitting 167. Here comes a runner, and the tag is out. So Bob Denier, trying to steal home, is out at the plate. And now an argument by Lee Elia, but the call made by home plate umpire Jerry Crawford to end.
Well, let's look at it as the inning is ended. Denier just took off. It was very close at home, but Carter stepping in front of Lance Parrish. Had Parrish swung the bat, it's interference on Carter. Denier scores, Parrish goes to first. But a hitter can't think that quickly.
So in the inning, 1 run on 2 hits. No one left on base. The score at the end of 1. Philadelphia 1, the Mets nothing. Now here's a word from the good old guys. And Sid Fernandez working from the windup. Here comes Bob Denier.
He had him.
Great tag by Gary Carter, and as you pointed out, Tim, if the batter who is entitled to swing 2 home runs this year. This ball hit deep to left center field. It is way back. Going, it is gone. Goodbye. Gary Carter, who has hit more home runs here at Veterans Stadium than any opposing player, has a home run, and it's tied at 1.
He loves Veterans Stadium. For the 25th time in his career, he has homered here at Veterans Stadium. Career home run number 294.
and number 270 as a catcher. 25 home runs. That leads all visiting players.
Of our sports day here on NBC. First off, let's catch you up on the baseball that was played last night, and it was a fiery night in particular in the American League. In Anaheim, Mark McGwire, who hit a record for a rookie 49 home runs last season, connected for his first of 88. With a man on in the second, he went opposite field in Oakland's 8-2 win over the Angels, but his next at bat, Kurt McCaskill hit McGwire in the batting helmet, which was not greatly appreciated by Mark. Both benches empty. No punches were thrown. McGwire said next time he will retaliate. More explosives in Arlington last night. Marty Barrett of Boston, Texas pitcher Mitch Williams apparently had a difference of opinion. Dwight Evans also involved. The Red Sox behind Oil Can Boyd blanked the Rangers 4-0. At the Metrodome in Minneapolis, the Homer Hankies greeted the world champion Twins in their home opener. Dan Gladden with 4 hits, including 2 home runs, plus a successful steal of home. Twins won over Toronto 6-3. At Yankee Stadium, best-selling author Dave Winfield continues to lash back at George Steinbrenner with his bat. 2 home runs for Winfield. Yanks beat Milwaukee 6-4. They're 3-0. The standing ovations continue for Winfield. In Philadelphia, Gary Carter did not enjoy his 34th birthday despite 3 hits, but the game ended following a flyout with Carter taking a stroll as Steve Jeltz caught him with a rare hidden ball trick. Phillies beat the Mets 5-1. And with the Braves starting the season 0-4, fans in Atlanta obviously do not want to be associated with their ball club. Sunday on opening day when Darryl Strawberry hit that monster shot off the roof of Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Here is the play-by-play call of Met broadcaster Gary Thorne.
Strawberry, who's had one of the home runs, swings and it's a high fly ball deep to right field, way up off the roof. It hit the roof. It hit the roof of Olympic Stadium, bounds down into right center field. It is a home run. Darryl Strawberry with a monstrous fly stops at second. He doesn't know if it's a homer yet. The umpire signals it was. It hit the roof in right center field in Olympic Stadium.
Darryl was not the only home run hitter for the Mets. In all, they smashed a team record 6 round-trippers, setting a major league record for an opening game over the American League. Toronto's George Bell was not to be outdone. He became the first major leaguer to hit 3 home runs on opening day. Brett Saberhagen of the Royals tagged for all 3.
Well, here's an example of how a pitcher can supply power. Watch Mookie just get the head of the bat on the ball. Pretty good pitch, and Mookie going out there, flipping the head of the bat, hitting the ball a long way. A lot of guys go to the plate and try to muscle the ball, but Mookie did it the proper way, just getting the head of the...
Grounded. Elster, good play. And he indeed gets Hayes to third base. But obviously that wasn't his intent. So Hayes is there with 1 out on a sparkling play by Elster.
And he has a base hit taken away here and a run batted in as Elster makes a brilliant play going far to his left. And with the strong throwing arm, Elster has him at first. This is a very big play. Good job by Elster with a very accurate throw from a tough throwing position.
So now Gooden's got to face Samuel with second, third, and 2 outs. But as it stands, Gooden picks up his 3rd strikeout. The Phillies take the lead, however, on a double by Hayes and a single by Chris James. And after 6, it's 3-2 Philadelphia.
For Dwight Gooden, it's 3-2. The Phil's on top of the Mets. Dykstra bunting for hit. Well, an interesting play, if not a good one. Shane Holy barehanded it. Talk about hitting ball tricks.
That might be the only time that Schmitty wasn't ready for it. Schmitty loves plays like this. But watch this bunt. I mean, a blueprint by Dykstra. Look at this. And Schmidt, sure enough, he wasn't ready for it.
How about
Michael loves that. I mean, Mike.
Shane Raleigh stopping his full second, and Mookie Wilson driving the ball deep center field, and that ball is gone. Home run, Mookie Wilson. Mets on top of the Phillies by a run. Getting some production out of that center field position.
center fielders. Now, what an interesting shot that is. Two guys vying for the same position. One bunts to bring them in, and the other one pushes them back. Second home run of the ball game for Mookie. Grant, I think of all of this whole thing, it's not that Lenny hasn't handled it one way, but Mookie Wilson, ever since he was relegated to that platoon position last year, has handled the whole situation as well as anybody could.
Yes, he has. The runners remain on their bases, second and first, 2 outs. Panes, great play, and he almost threw it away. What's going on here at the vet? Roger McDowell with a tremendous play.
I mean, a terrific play. And had that ball gotten by McDowell, I think Hayes has himself an infield base hit. Watch this play by McDowell. You talk about reactions. Now he almost throws it away. Watch Keith. Oh, this is weird.
So, the Mets keep their lead, and Tim and I will be back in just a few moments.
Remarkable job, the cast of the Phantom of the Opera singing the national anthems of Canada and the United States. Here are Bill's comments. To be involved in the pregame ceremonies and the throwing out of the first ball, Bill Shea, as we said, after whom the stadium was named, and also the Vice President of the United States, George Bush. His plane landed at 1:15. We think he is on his way here. One thing we do know, however, Ralph Kiner has arrived. Long trek and a busy day already for you.
Already a busy day, and also the elevators don't work for this opening day.
He made it.
Right there you see George Bush, a former NCAA first baseman, played on the championship team for Yale that played in the NCAA championships, and was runner-up 2 years in a row for the #1 team in college baseball. So George Bush, who incidentally just arrived, and Bill Shea and George Bush coming out.
Flair, why would you want to be president of the United States?
That's what Babe Ruth once said. They said when he asked for $80,000 a year, they said that's more money. Reigns a good-sized lead. He does not go, and the ball grounded to short. Elster will try for 2. There's one in the other. Elster to Backman to Hernandez, and that will end the inning. One hit and no one left to score at the end of 1/2 inning. It is the Expos nothing. The Mets coming up now. Here's a word from AT&T. Pitch for the Atlanta Braves. Look out. That got Backman on his hand. So Perez in tight, and Backman's hot about it. Perez has a reputation for being a pitcher that will throw at you.
Oh, he didn't do that up in Montreal. I don't think that was his intent. I think the intent was to come inside, but because his reputation precedes him, anytime he hits somebody, they're going to think it's going to be intentional. Perez was the pitcher, as a matter of fact, against the San Diego Padres in 1985, where about 11 guys were ejected. If you remember that game down in Atlanta, famous game in the '85 season. And anytime this happens, when you have a reputation like that.
Years first at bat, hitting a home run. And that was off the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Right fielder. Caught Bob Patterson, a 3-run shot, and a game in which the Mets won 3-2. As a matter of fact, last year the Mets won their first 5 ball games.
And Darryl Strawberry had a home run his first at bat this year.
Hitting 400 with 3 home runs. That epic shot up. Here's the slider again. And there it was, and there it goes. Deep right. Back is Brooks. Home run, Darryl Strawberry. 1-0 New York. remarkable.
Well, Darrell, with his 4th home run of this year, he had 39 last year. That's 151 in his major league career. And Perez went to the well one too many times. A 3-2 slider, and Strawberry was on it. Didn't get it all, but he got enough of it to pick up the home run. And it puts the Mets up 1-0. Here he is out in front a little bit, but with that great arc, he takes it out of the ballpark. A high drive to right.
The cast of the Phantom of the Opera sees the first curtain call of the season here at Shea. Here's McReynolds.
How long do you keep doing it?
Ripped down the right field line, and the Mets are looking for the slider, it appears. Sliders.
Baseball also here, Bart Giamatti.
Line sharply by Candel. Carter's going to score after McReynolds, and it's 3-0 New York. Candel laid a glove on it, but not enough for one. Johnson's first RBIs of the year.
Well, he gets the 3-2 pitch, and he hits it hard. It's a fastball, and Candel slows it down. That allows McReynolds to score easily, and Carter also to score easily. That ball had gone through without being touched. Carter might have been held up at third with no one out. 11 at bats this year.
Mickey Sasser might be a little chilly.
Lollipop, and it is popped to left field. So McReynolds on the mini blooper pitch is now 3 for 3.
I don't guess there's anything more pleasing to a hitter than when a pitcher throws a pitch like this, that you just stay back, relax, and just the pitching chant.
If Johnson indeed comes out.
Line drive caught by Tuffle, and the ball game is over. It becomes a moot point as Ron Darling pitches a shutout and his first complete game since July 29th of 1986. It is his 7th career shutout. Darling with a 3-0 victory, and the Mets go now to 4-3 on the season. Darling's record evens at 1-1 as he shuts out Montreal on 5 hits while striking out 4 and walking 3. So the bullpen gets a day off both today and tomorrow. Tim and I'll be back to wrap it up, and of course we'll have the first regular season edition of Kiner's Corner coming up soon. So stay with us. We're back to Shea after this for New Jersey Bell Yellow Pages.
3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 7 hits in 7 innings. All that done against the Montreal. Nobody ever has. Good curveball. So Fitzgerald becomes the first strikeout victim.
No, the reason nobody ever
By the bat and the ball. And a good fastball. And Ojeda, after the double by Galarraga, strikes out Fitzgerald and Rivera to get out of the inning. 1 hit, 1 left at second. The score at the end of 1.5. The Expos, nothing.
Ben Dykstra will lead it off, the top of the order for New York in the bottom of the 6th of a no-score ball game. Dykstra with a drive deep to right. Brooks looking up, home run. 1-0 New York on Lenny Dykstra's 3rd home run of the year.
also his 2nd home run off Dennis Martinez. I think Dykstra hit the weights real hard all went along. Buck Rogers certainly isn't pleased to hit those weights. Here's a look at it. Boy, and he gets all of it, too. Right off the scoreboard, or the old scoreboard.
Well, it's a good thing that the Samson syndrome hasn't affected him. You can see that that sign has a dent in it where the ball hit. And he lays it right out on the corner again, and all Hubie Brooks can do is take the wood back to the dugout. Strikeout number 4 and 2 out here in the 7th inning.
One of those times where Hubie Brooks was just overmatched,
over-dazzled. I'll tell you what, Bob Ojeda might have got a little break right there. That pitch moved.
And Tim will be back in to start the 8th with the Mets leading 1-0 over Montreal after this for the Asians.
Curveball, another cue shot. Ojeda gets it. But on the play, the runners move up 90 feet. Now we'll see a pinch hit. A check swing tapper. Ojeda go home. Out and home. Johnson should have made the play to first, but I'm not so sure that they'd have gotten Raines. And on a very alert play, Ojeda comes home to get Webster. Wow.
Does Gary Carter call for this ball? He knows who the runner is, and Ojeda has a tough throw to make, but look at Carter. Toe on the plate, ahead of the slide. Coming hard is Mike Fitzgerald. As soon as contact is made, Fitzgerald coming hard, sliding hard, but Carter stretching and keeping his foot on the plate to pick up the call from Ed Montague and get out of the inning without a run scoring. What a play.
I said Webster, but you could see it was Fitzgerald. It's 1-0, middle of the 8th. We're back after this from Michelob.
Wow, been dancing over the outside corner all day. Well hit to left. McReynolds going hard. Does he get it? Yes. What a catch by Kevin McReynolds. And the 2-hit shutout is preserved, at least temporarily, with now 2 out in the 9th.
The glider appears to be motoring without an engine. He is so quiet. He covers so much ground, and you never know he's around. And the glider playing with a lame wing today. That right knee of his bruised. He missed the series in Philadelphia over the weekend. And
New York 1-0. High fly ball to left. McReynolds is right there. And the Mets win it. Back-to-back shutouts as Bob Ojeda shuts out Montreal with a 2-hitter on the heels of Ron Darling's 3-0 shutout of Montreal on opening day Tuesday. What a performance by Bob Ojeda as he outduels Dennis Martinez. 1-0 New York, and the Mets with back-to-back complete game shutouts for the first time since May of 1985. When they actually had 3 in a row pitched by Ed Lynch, Dwight Gooden, and Sid Fernandez, May 8th, 10th, and 11th. Bobby wins it. He's now 2-0 on the year, and the Mets go to 5-3 so far this season. His 8th career shutout, a 2-hitter, 1-0 over Montreal. Tim and I'll be right back to wrap it up. Ralph will be along with Kiner's Corner. I wonder who his guest will be. We'll be back to Shea after this for the New England Financial Services.
Sports Channel presents Mets baseball. Tonight, the Mets take on the St. Louis Cardinals.
Hello. In the bottom 3, Howard Johnson, Kevin Elster, and then Dwight Gooden.
And Dwight Gooden on the mound with a record of 2-0 this year. He has an earned run average of 4.91. Dwight has worked 11 innings so far, given up 16 hits. He has walked 6 and struck out 4. He has a lifetime record of at the Mets. He said they're jerks.
Well, that would upset you if you're a vet.
I would have to think that you'd pay for that somewhere last season. And he gets him with a fastball. So Gooden records his first strikeout with the fastball.
Well, that's what Dwight Gooden is going to have to do to regain his confidence as far as striking out hitters, is strike out a hitter. Here he gets Ford. Ford taking a big rip. Look at that. Speed gun had him at 94 miles per hour. I wouldn't say.
2-2 to Tommy Herr. Herr last year with 2 home runs and a 263 average and strike 3. So Gooden, who came into this ball game with just a few strikeouts, only 4 in his first 2 outings, strikes out his 2 batters in the first inning. That's a 1-2-3 inning, and the score at the end, a 1.5 inning. The Cardinals.
Fastball deep to left, way back, going. It is gone. Goodbye.
Mets take the lead 1-0 on Carter's 4th home run of the year. And the Mets continue to hit home runs at a record pace.
Oh, here it is again. Matthews fell behind Carter, comes in, challenges and throws the ball out over the plate, and Carter hits the ball a long way here at Shea Stadium. Carter said before the game he's over his injuries. He feels good in AAA.
Infield in for a play at the plate and a line drive. Base hit into left field. Dwight Gooden helping his cause as he takes that curveball out to left center field for a base hit, and the Mets lead it 2-0.
Well, you live by the sword. Sometimes you die by the sword. Howard Johnson doing something the Cardinals are known for, stealing a base, getting to third base on the error, and here's Dwight Gooden doing the job, getting the runner in with a base hit to left field.
That is Gooden's second run batted in. He's now 2 for 5 in the year.
They figured he wouldn't be able to do it with the bat, but he's turned into a pretty good hitter. He slaps up a nice play by Johnson. Tip your hat to Howard Johnson, scored 5-3, a fine play by the Met third baseman. And that'll do it for the Cardinals.
And Howard Johnson did it. Sometimes you use that glove like a shield at third base, especially when you're in that closely and the balls hit that hard.
And that'll do it, as I said, for the Cards. 3 up, 3 down. You'll see the score, and Tim and I will return. And the 0-1 pitch. Oh, a break for the Mets, a wild pitch. Pena 2 years ago with the Pirates, was the catcher with the Pirates when the Pirates led the league in wild pitches.
That honor to the San Francisco Giants last year.
Split finger fastball.
Yeah, far and away more wild pitches than any other National League club. There are wild pitches, and there are productive wild pitches. And this was a productive one
for the Mets. Swing on and miss, strike 3. So Kurt Ford goes down. It's the 7th strikeout of the game for the doctor. That'll do it for the Cardinals. They leave a runner stranded, an unhappy Whitey Herzog, and we'll be back.
Country. Boy, where in the world did this wind come from? Not only is it raining, but gusts of wind. You see the light towers there and the ground crew with the tarp coming out as quickly as possible. And it just opened up.
Looks like San Francisco and Candlestick Park on a normal day.
On a normal evening, that's right. Going to recap the ball game for you. Gary Carter.
Dwight Gooden with a strong outing. The Mets flanked the Cards 3-0 in a game shortened to 6 innings because of rain. Gooden now 3-0, 3 straight Mets shutouts in Houston.
For the last 3 years in the National League, the hot hands have been held by the St. Louis Cardinals and the New York Mets. And the trump card in each case has been the home run. In 1985, Game 6 of the League Championship Series, Jack Clark hits a home run to break Tom Niedenfuhr's heart, frustrate Pedro Guerrero, and the Cardinals win it 7-5 and go on to the World Series. In 1986, Howard Johnson facing Todd Worrell in the 9th inning. A 2-run home run to tie the game in a contest the Mets would win in 10 innings and go on to play in the World Series. And in 1987, a 2-out, 2-run 9th inning home run by Terry Pendleton gives the Cardinals a win and might have been the biggest single hit by a Cardinal last year, and it was against Roger McDowell. And today, it's the New York Mets and the St. Louis Cardinals, arch rivals in the National League, on the Game of the Week. Joe.
Okay, Vin. Keith, we've heard things like disrespectful jerks, the arrogant Mets. That kind of pressure, how does it affect you? What do you do in the clubhouse?
Well, it doesn't really bother us. I mean, we've had that label now since 86, really. I mean, I remember coming here, I know a lot of guys get upset with the curtain calls, and I don't like the curtain call. I don't want to ever show a pitcher up, but I remember when I was first traded here, and I hit my first home run here, and there was 5,000 people in the stands here. If you were lucky, there were 5,000 people. And they kept applauding and applauding, and Rusty came up to me and said, Keith, you got to do it here. And that was back in the days when the Mets were a last-place team. And what I see around the league, too, they're taking curtain calls everywhere. The fans love it. It's kind of like the showbiz of the game.
What about the Cardinals, though, themselves? They seem to be the bitter team. They seem to say the most. Ozzie Smith is very outspoken.
Well, in spring training, he said a few things, and that didn't really go over well with us. But, you know, it's all part of the rivalry between us, which I think the rivalry has not been created by things said back and forth to each other. I think it's just the fact that we have been competitors now for the last 3 years, and the rivalry's developed because we've finished second twice, and they finished first, and they've been fighting us, and we've been fighting them.
And we'll see what happens today, huh?
Well, it should be a great game. There's two good teams.
Good. Okay, Van.
Ozzie Smith struck out only 36 times in over 600 at-bats last year. So when you see Ozzie strike out, it's news.
2 strikes. He just wants to put the bat on the ball. This is a good fastball. It's a high fastball, and that's the one pitch he's been able to lay off of, but he just swung under it. He tried to just get a piece of it and missed it completely.
0-2 the count to Jim Lindemann. Second strikeout for Fernandez. That's 29 consecutive scoreless innings for the Mets. A man is left at the end of an inning and a half, no score. And let's backtrack a bit. The Yankees were playing Toronto. Rafael Santana dropped what should have been a double play ball, apparently. Toronto went on to score 6 or 7 runs in the inning and killed the Yankees, scored 6. Center field, Coleman McGee watching this ball go off the top of the wall. Strawberry is to third. They will hold him as Ozzie Smith has the ball ready to return it to the plate. It is interesting and should be noted because Kevin McReynolds is that kind of a player. In Montreal, they are waiting. Ground ball slowly with the runner Strawberry to score, and the out recorded at first. McReynolds takes third, and they can now put that run up there.
All day long, but he's moving it in and out.
Hot one to third, but another Gold Glove is right there. High throw, and he missed the bag coming down.
And we talked about his tender shoulder. Pendleton, when he came in after infield practice, you could see it, and he was really favoring that. There's no way with his arm sound that he's going to make that play. Now, he's got a lot of time. He comes up with the ball right now. Look, only 2 steps were taken. He had a day and a half, but he's going to Annie Oakley it over there, and look at it. He loops it. It just doesn't come down, and Horner tries to come down on the bag, but he's not exactly a graduate of Fred Astaire class of dancing. Horner at first base, so that's a big, big error.
A big error indeed. Foul tipped. Check swing, and it got the wood anyway. Coleman can't believe it. That's 4 strikeouts for Sid Fernandez. 30 consecutive scoreless innings for New York.
Hi, this is Roger McDowell of the New York Mets. Earlier this season, during spring training, we had an ugly shirt contest. This is the winning entry, a full outfit with designer shoes, black and white platforms, with the Salvation Army plaid pants. The shirt is a early drapery shower curtain design with maroon and white print, and it looks very becoming, and with the gold and the green lapel for St. Patrick's Day, and this was the winning entry.
Isn't that awful? What's incredible is how come he still has it. In 1978, the Cardinals were at home against the Philadelphia Phillies, and Bob Forsch pitched a no-hitter. That was the start of the season. That's Keith Hernandez, then a Cardinal. However, it was not a great year for Forsch. Would you believe after the no-hitter, later on, he lost 9 in a row that year. High fly ball to shallow right. Jim Lindemann is coming, still coming, still coming. It's going to land. They will hold and then send the runner in, and Tuffle will score.
He was looking for help all the way, and that's bad baseball. He really surrounded that ball. That ball should have been caught. You can see that he is really chagrined out there, and it was easy for Tuffle to score. He was 3/4 of the way down to third base,
And the throw goes into second base, but no way to get Strawberry. He's looking for help. There he is, looking for Tommy Herr, and that ball is off to the side and behind him. I mean, he wasn't close to making that play.
And all I can think of is, with all of his pain and misery in the dressing room, Joe McGrain is charged with that run, a walk where he 1-2. Bouncer over his glove. He should have made that play. Backed up by Tuffle, who throws to Johnson, but the runner, Ozzie Smith, holding. Not because the wind blew it off your head.
See how dejected he looked.
And there's ball 4, and he's forced in a run.
Yeah, you got to have a meeting now, no doubt about it. He should have been out of the inning. Here comes Stottlemyre.
Little pop fly on the right side. Tuffle. And now in front of him is the rookie, and the ball drops, and both runs score to tie up the game. And the rookie stuck his finger in the pie.
It's time to put the beer keg on each base because that's the way they're playing. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Major League. Tuffle looked like he called it all the way, Vin.
Yeah, it was Tuffle's play. The only thing that was the problem, the wind, which is blowing from...
It wasn't that high. I think Michael Jordan could have just reached up and plucked it down.
And he does. But the Cardinals have 3 runs, and young Kevin Elster, growing a little bit older every day in his position at shortstop, all even at 3. Ball that looked like it was out of the strike zone.
High fastball once again. They're just not swinging at strikes, and Fernandez able to get off the hook.
And he got off the hook by striking out the side, but it's 4-3 St. Louis. 1-2. Good breaking ball. And that takes care of Steve Lake. That's his first strikeout, the 9th strikeout suffered by the Cardinals. Watch that thing break away.
Not only does it break sharp and dig, he's got it in a real good spot. Puts it right on that outside part of the plate. And you can see Lake kind of bail out. He just couldn't reach it. Perfect pitch.
Leading by a run with Worrell in the bullpen. He'll be pitching to the Mets in the bottom of the 8th. Popped up, back a shortstop. Elster going out. McReynolds has a much easier play. And where's the runner going? McGee had rounded second. He didn't know how many outs there were. And the Cardinals are not playing well at all.
$3 million scoreboard up there. Signed maybe about 8-10 feet, but Willie didn't look at it, and boom.
So it happens. And at the end of 7.5, it's still Cardinals 4, Mets 3. Hit right by the pitcher, fielded by Ozzie, who doesn't have a play. And the tying run is aboard.
Ball was hit off the end of the bat. He really didn't sting it, but sent it right back up the middle. And even though Ozzie came up with it, there was no way to make a play. See, the ball was not hit that hard because Ozzie actually outruns it. No diving, no nothing. He started to throw, but knew he didn't have the play.
2-1. McReynolds goes, and so does the ball. A high drive into left field, gone. Worrell has one turned around on him, a single by McReynolds and a home run by Carter, and the Mets have taken a 5-4 lead. The Mets have now out-homered the opposite. Bottom of the 8th. In the 9th, it'll be Oquendo, Lake, and Lawless due up for St. Louis. Another drive to right, down the line, hooking in the corner, going fair as it hits the screen. Home run for Howard Johnson.
And he stayed at home plate to give it some body English.
So the first 2 home runs that Todd Worrell gives up this year comes back-to-back at Shea. And the batter is Kevin Elster. Ball 1.
Whitey got the situation he wanted, a 1-run lead. 8th inning is closer on the mound, and it explodes on him.
What was it? The best laid plans of mice and men and baseball managers. 1-1. Here's Hojo.
When he hits the ball, he really pulled it. Now, he thinks it's going to go foul. He's working on it. Look at him. He's working on it. And he sees it hit the screen.
And there's another drive, but this one would appear. Gary Carter hits a 2-run home run to give the Mets a lead. Howard Johnson follows with another. And the Mets go into the 9th inning on the home run ball, leading the Cardinals 6-4. Met, he was announced as a pinch hitter. So Pagnozzi is hitting for Randy Myers, tied with Todd Worrell for 8th place, most strikeouts among relief pitchers. Tom, it's a ground ball to the right side. Tuffle shovels Elster. He goes to Hernandez.
I tell you, you can see why they're so high on Elster as the middleman there. Tuffle had a little bit of problem. He was going to make sure he got the one man, but Elster really had something on that throw.
The executive producer of NBC Sports, Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer for NBC Baseball, Harry Coyle. The telecast of today's Game of the Week, produced by John J. Filippelli, directed by Andy Rosen. Ground ball to the hole, backhanded by Elster. The throw, got him.
What a play! What a play!
In the 9th inning, no runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. So the Mets, who are down after blowing a 3-0 lead and trail 4-3, pull it out on home runs by Gary Carter and Howard Johnson. And our NBC Miller Lite player of the game would be Gary Carter. Miller Lite happy to present a check for $1,000 in the name of Gary Carter to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Todd Worrell suffers the loss, and David Cone picks up the victory. Quite a game.
It looked like the Mets were going to give it away, but they came back, and they win it.
For Joe Garagiola, this is Vin Scully saying so long from Shea Stadium in
60 men.
Clark had over 100 walks. There's the off-speed pitch, and that will end the inning. So 1 hit, a walk, and 2 men left on. Also a balk, and the score at the end of 1/2 inning. The Cardinals nothing. The Mets coming up. Now here's a word from the New York Daily News.
Jose De Leon. Strike 3. Darling gets 2 strikeouts in the inning, but he gives up 2 home runs, and the Cardinals lead at the end of 3.5 innings by a score of 2-0. Now here's a word from your New England.
Right back up the middle. Tuffle behind, or with a Johnson to Backman. And a double play, nicely turned, even though Tom Hurd made a good effort to take Backman out of the play. Wally hung in there and completed it.
That was a gutsy move here. Wally Backman has to take that with his back right at the runner. He makes a good turn off the bag, though. Hurd can't go out too far to get him. Wally knew he was a little vulnerable, so he stepped away from the bag toward the outfield, and Hurd could not get to him.
Ground ball towards second. Backman to Hernandez. So McDowell pitches out of trouble here in the 8th inning. After 7.5, it's 2-0 St. Louis. We're back after this from the 9th.
Guy's figuring you're figuring. He's not figuring you're figuring.
Ball 4. We'll never know. So Backman leads off the 8th with a walk.
Game.
The big right-hander. Grounder by Horner at first. Backman will go to third, first and third, and nobody out. We'll see how it's going to be scored.
The advantage of having a left-hander up with a base runner at first who can run, as with Backman, is twofold. Not only do you have that hole between first and second, but the first baseman cannot play as deep. And this really affected Horner on this ball, as he's in on the edge of the grass, and the ball is to him more quickly than he can react. He gets an in-between hop on the backhand side because He doesn't have the time or the room to move around and control the situation.
Not running, ripped to right, base hit. Elster will try to go to third and make it. 2-1 Cardinals.
Whitey Herzog still has a 1-run lead, but there's nobody out. And a lot of guessing going on now as Le'Veon put one right there in his wheelhouse, and Darrell didn't think about it. He just hit it, driving the ball into right field, right on the pitch. And the Mets are first and third in them in fine fashion here in the 8th inning.
Little looper to left center. Smith can't get to it. Strawberry will try for third. He's going to be a dead duck. Out at third is Strawberry on the play. McReynolds to second base. But the tying run scores, and it's 2-2.
Well, McReynolds doesn't get all of this, to say the least. He hits it right off the trademark, but Ozzie Smith can't get to it. And, of course, Coleman had to play McReynolds deep. As soon as the ball drops, Elster scores. But Strawberry trying to get... McDowell retires the Cardinals in order in the 9th, and we will go to the bottom of the 9th, tied at 2 right after this for Bud Light. But he's only worked 4 innings. Line drive off of Peters, and they won't get Mookie. And he throws it away. It goes into the stands, and Wilson will be awarded second base, and the winning run is at second base with nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. Trainer Gene Gieselman coming out to check Peters.
Watch Pendleton. He's trying to tell Peters, don't throw it. He almost reached out and stopped him from throwing it. But Steve goes ahead and makes the errant throw to first, and it's a base hit and an error. Watch Terry Pendleton, the third baseman. Hold it, hold. Now watch him reach out. He almost tried to reach out and grab the ball. Now that would have been quick hands.
That's right. Good bunt. Pendleton will have to go to first in time, and the sacrifice moves Wilson to third as the winning run with 1 out here in the 9th inning.
I don't think McGee can from that spot.
He's come in a couple of steps, but still not far enough. They're in closer in left and right. Tough of a line drive, and Wilson just does get back to third base. Pendleton, cat quick, trying to chase another guy who moves very well.
Mookie goes back immediately.
Otherwise, he'd have been out.
That's right.
So Mookie still at third, now with 2 out. The infield and outfield moving back for St. Louis, and here's Kevin Elster batting for the first time. Right up the middle, a base hit, and the Mets win. 3-2 with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Kevin Elster, who had only 4 base hits previously this year, singles to center to score Mookie Wilson, and the Mets have swept the St. Louis Cardinals with a 3-2 victory here at Shea. New York has now won 6 in a row. The Cardinals have lost 6 in a row, and the Mets stay atop the National League Eastern Division.
Of all people, Kevin Elster, who has really been struggling, 4 for 34, as Steve said, he comes through, and I'm sure his Met teammates thinking that it couldn't have happened to a better guy at a better time than right now.
A bunch of happy Mets fans, over 49,000 here this afternoon, headed home, and the Mets 3-game sweep, the first at home since July of 1984. Their first on the road since July of 1987 at St. Louis. 3-2 in a dramatic 2-out 9th inning base hit by Kevin Elster, the winning RBI. Tim and I'll be right back to wrap it up, and Ralph will have a Kiner's Corner for you, so stay.
Our tour of the majors this evening in New York, it has been a strange day. Back on April 9th, the Phillies beat the Mets. Since then, Philadelphia has not won, and the Mets have not lost. So you go figure who's going to win, right? Early on, wild pitch. Bruce Ruffin let one go, and Mookie Wilson scored to make it 2-1 Mets. Bottom of the third. Top of the sixth, though, Phil's up by 4 runs, 2 outs, bases juiced, and Von Hayes comes to the plate. Watch this, little flare towards left field, and Kevin McReynolds fell asleep. Got a bad jump on it, and it fell in for a 2-run double. Oh, my, the Mets' problem's getting worse for Davey Johnson. They fell down 8-2, and then bottom of the sixth went to their power man, Gary Carter, off on a great tear. Gone. His 6th home run of the year, a 3-run blast and another shot down the line. He leads the majors in home runs. Bottom of the 7th, Phil still lead, though, 9-6. With Darryl Strawberry on third. Carter again a chance to make it 9-7, grounded to third. Strawberry made a mistake, came home on the back, crack of the bat, and got nailed at the plate. As a result, the Mets couldn't put home the run that would have put them back in the ballgame. Philadelphia holds on 10-7, snaps its 7-game losing streak. Mets fail to claim sole possession of first, and their 6-game win streak is snapped as well. At Riverfront,
it led off with a walk. Von Hayes at the plate. David Cone delivers a wild pitch inside. Gary Carter tracks it down. Schmidt, round second, sees the ball get hung up around the Philly dugout, and Carter sort of loafs after it. Now nobody's covering home, and Schmidt scores from first base on a wild pitch. How embarrassing. How's that for the play of the day?
Game once against Sandy, and I believe he was 9 for 30 against him. This ball drilled the left, way back out of here. Second home run of the year for Kevin Auster, and the Mets lead it 3-0. All you have to do is mention home runs, Ralph. It's contagious with you.
Well, the Mets get their 20th home run of the year. Elster comes up with his second. He's hit the ball very well with no luck at all. This time he takes care of the luck element. Nobody can catch this one as he jumps on the fastball and picks up 2 runs with his second home run, and he gets his 5th and 6th RBIs of the year.
Dwight Gooden, the batter.
Against Gooden, he's had 1 hit and 9 at-bats, and he struck out 7 times.
Make it 8. Third strikeout for Gooden. He's been perfect through 3. And after 2.5, it's 3-0 New York. We're back after this with R.C. Cola.
Here. Good location, breaking down right in the glove where Gary Carter had it. You see Dwight Gooden looking at the ground, right into the target. And Doug Harvey liked it.
2-2 the count. He did. So Gooden with 5 consecutive curveballs strikes out Mike Schmidt.
It's the 5th strikeout for Gooden. And he definitely gets that bat hit out there and breaks those wrists. Good call by the umps. All over, you're in a heap of trouble.
There it is again. Strikeout number 6 for Gooden. The bid for the no-hitter is gone here in the 6th, but Jeltz is left at second base. And in the middle of the 6th, it's still 3-0 New York, and we're back after this for the good old Skies. 2. Well hit to center field. Thompson running hard into left center. This ball is out of here. A home run for Darryl Strawberry.
Strawberry certainly was not fooled on that pitch. It was a fastball out over the plate. He just went with it. What power he's got. To get a shot at it here. Fastball up and out over the plate. Let him extend those arms. There's only one thing he's doing better against left-handers is not trying to pull a ball all the time, and he's had very good success because of it. With that kind of power, you don't have to pull the ball.
Asking that fella right there, Jerry Crawford.
High fly ball deep to left center field. Mookie Wilson at the track, and it is gone.
two-run home run for Mike Schmidt. And now the shutout has eluded Dwight Gooden. Runner at third base and 2 out. Good breaking ball for strike 3. Good night, Mr. James. 8 strikeouts for the doctor, but Philadelphia scores 2 runs on 3 hits here in the 7th. And we'll go to the bottom of the 7th with the Mets now leading 4-2 after this for Chrysler.
Does this guy have divided loyalties or what?
Breaking ball. He went too far. Carter drops the ball. And now the throw to Hernandez. Strikeout number 10 for Dwight Gooden. And I believe that's the 34th time he has hit. Make that 37 times. Doc has hit double figures in 102 decisions. It's 4-2 Mets, middle of the 8th. We're back after this from your Lincoln Mercury dealer. Ground ball, base hit up the middle. Carter scores. Elster scores. 6-2, New York. RBIs number 3 and 4 for Gooden. And if you don't think that makes that young man happy, you're wrong.
And the 3rd game in a row that Dwight Gooden has had an RBI base hit. I was kidding about it when he came up last time in the 7th inning and led off the inning that he couldn't get one unless he hit one out. But he gets another shot here in the 8th inning and a big 2-out base hit to give himself a couple of insurance runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the crowd wants another one. And they get it. Second time in a row he has struck out Juan Samuel on that high, tight fastball. Number 11 in the K corner. Boy,
Perfect location. Watch it tie Samuel up. You'd have a lot of company, Sammy, on that pitch.
Take a picture.
That hard.
Pardon me, Timmy. Take a picture of that. Put it in it too. It works both ways. 1-1. Grounded to third. Johnson gets a hop off the grass, throws out Schmidt. The game is over. Dwight Gooden pitches 5 1/3 innings of perfect baseball, finishes with a 4-hitter, and pushes his record to 4-0 on the year as the Mets defeat the Philadelphia Phillies 6-2 here at Shea and snap their 2-game losing streak and keep pace with the division-leading Pittsburgh Pirates. For Gooden, 11 strikeouts on the evening. He did not walk a batter. Tim and I will be right back to wrap it up. So stay with us, where the Mets have defeated the Phillies 6-2. We'll be back after this for the New Jersey Bell Yellow Pages.
Their last 11. Now to St. Louis, the Cardinals hosting the second-place Mets. Look at this. This is called mascot abuse here. Kid trips Fred Bird. Guy's named after me. What is the matter with that child? Anyway, no good news for St. Louis in the second. Kevin McReynolds singles and Darryl Strawberry off Jose De Leon. 1-0 in favor of the Mets. Now on the other pitching side, Ron Darling dazzling, getting the strikeout there to end the second inning with a couple on. Yeah, it was De Leon, but it was a strikeout just the same. Then Howard Johnson, Hojo, blows it open in the 9th with a 3-run shot off reliever Todd Worrell, and immediately 4-0. They want to check that bat, boy. Oh, are we going to start this cork bat thing again this year? We already have the balk to deal with. Anyway, the Mets win it by a final score of 4-0. Hojo's second home run of the year. And by the way, umpire in this game, one of the umpires.
Lots of guys are going bananas over the balk. Frustration forced Bobby Ojeda to chuck his glove into the stands. Maybe somebody else will have a better try in that battle with the umps. The fan that caught the glove refused to return it when Ojeda reconsidered. Finally, the settlement is reached, an exchange. 2 balls for 1 glove.
Three Rivers Stadium, as they have lost only once at home this season. Part of the key to their success, they have won 18 of their last 23 meetings with the Cubs. Busch Stadium, and a wild one between the arch rivals, the Mets and Cards. That's Vince Coleman leading and taking off from third base and stealing home. First clean steal of home by a Cardinal since 1983 in Ozzie Smith. Bottom of the second. It's 4-1 when Coleman continues his mastery of Sid Fernandez. With 2 on, a 3-run shot into the bleachers. 2 home runs this year, both off Hawaii 5-0. Ties it at 4. Top of the 8th. Roger McDowell hits it in the gap. Coleman playing just behind the shortstop. Can't come anywhere near it. It rolls to the wall. Mets open a 10-7 lead. But bottom of the 8th, the bases are loaded. Randy Myers on in relief, and here comes Coleman again. Crushes this ball. Looking for his second home run of the game. McReynolds going back and on the warning track. A potential grand slam taken away, and the Mets hold on and win it 12-9. They've won all 5 meetings with the last-place Cardinals this season, a team that is now 8 games out of first place. At the
Dwight Gooden, the Cole being the Braves. Gooden has more wins than the entire Atlanta Ball Club, and you would think he would have had an easy time of it tonight. Well, think again, because it was a very rocky start for Gooden.
One out for Ken Griffey.
Ken Griffey comes up bottom of the 3rd, 2 men on base. This one is going to stay in the park, but well over the head of Mookie Wilson. Deion James, Dale Murphy score easily. It's a rocking time at the ballpark. It is 3-1 Braves, but the Braves just can't keep a good thing going. Top of the 5th, Tom Glavine serves it up. Keith Hernandez, who was in a dismal slump, comes through, ties the ball game at 4. Then in the 7th, Jim Acker. Look at this, Mookie Wilson. Looky, here comes Mookie. In comes Kevin Elster. The Mets have a 5-4 lead, and Hernandez isn't done yet. Bases loaded. The bases are now unloaded as Charlie Palaio serves up the grand salami to Keith Hernandez. Clear him in a hurry. 13-4 New York. Gooden goes to 5-0. The Braves fall to 3-14. At Candlestick,
their infield's having. George Brett coined the phrase the Mendoza line for players hitting below 200. And it certainly applies to the Mets infield, at least as far as April thus far. We'll go around the horn backwards. Keith Hernandez, the first baseman, hitting just 158. You see Wally Bachman, the second baseman, below 100. Tim Tuffle, they platoon there. And Tuffle's hitting at 156. Kevin Elster, the youngster, 157. And Howard Johnson is leading the bunch with a blistering 179 average. Now, the Mets in the right park to cure the hitting trouble. Fulton County Stadium to face the Braves. 1-1, bottom of the 3rd. Ken Griffey against the Doc, hits it to center. Mookie's playing too shallow. It's over his head. Extra bases. Deion James and Dale Murphy score. 3-1 Braves. Next batter is Gerald Perry. He lines a shot. Tim Tuffle, not known for his fielding, goes up and grabs this one, flips it over to second, and they double up Griffey. Top of the 5th, it's now 4-2. Keith Hernandez, we showed you his numbers just a moment ago. Forget him. This one is gone, and forget the ball. A 2-run home run, and it's tied up at 2. Top of the 8th, Hernandez is up again. This time the bases are loaded, up against Charlie Palaio, and this one is gone as well, no doubt about it. A grand slam, and the Mets end up with 7 runs in the 8th inning and romp the Braves 13-4 when this one was said and done. Hernandez, a career-high 7 RBIs. Davey Johnson, his 400th managing win. Gooden, National League's first 5-game winner, and his 3rd straight complete game in Montreal.
2 outs. Charlie Palaio pitching to Lenny Dykstra. Runners will be moving. The pitch. Outside, ball 4. Mets lead the Braves 3-2, picking up 3 runs here in the 9th inning. Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. This game firmly in hand, and Ossenmacher came in and walked Braves.
And Mookie hits a ground ball up the middle, base hit. The Mets will score 2. So the Mets pick up 2 more runs. They now lead the Braves 5-2.
Slider on the hands, and Mookie fights it off, and a diving Ron Gant can't get to it. Johnson scores. Dykstra goes to 3rd base, and Magadan scores. How about that? 5 runs here in the top of the 9th.
Catch a baseball the Mets way. They picked up 5 runs here in the 9th inning. As we go to the bottom of the 9th, that's the score, and we'll be back. One-two pitch, a chopper to 3rd. Dave Magadan to 1st. That'll do it. Scored. Jubilant.
Doing something.
Staff out to congratulate all the players because it was a team effort tonight, and once again that final score The Mets 5, the Braves 2. Now let's join Lee Zeidman in our studio.
I guess Pee Wee Herman is next for them. The death watch continues. When this season began, the Orioles were listed as 80-to-1 long shots to win it all. When we spoke with the Las Vegas odds makers today, they said Baltimore was now off the board. But if you put up $10, they would present you with a Corvette if the O's became world champs. Pennant fever to Baltimore is a 48-hour virus. The 0-19 O's were in Minnesota tonight. And actually, things look promising. Don't want to build up your hopes too much, but first inning, Bert Blyleven down 1-0, and Keith Hughes just brought up from Rochester, singles with the bases loaded, and Baltimore led it 3-0. Tom Kelly's team saw another run on the board. This is Craig Worthington, just brought up from Rochester. His first major league hit, how about a home run? 4-2, Baltimore led it. But Minnesota had it tied at 4, and the O's got cute. Jeff Stone gunned down at third. The next batter, Billy Ripken, singled. That would have brought in the go-ahead run. The 7th, the go-ahead run on third. Gene Larkin hits a shot to Eddie Murray. The ricochet, Billy Ripken there. The runner doesn't score. Larkin nailed it first. And Frank Robinson breathes a sigh of relief. But the 8th, Bill Shearer and Ken Herbeck has hit 3 home runs on the air, all 3 against the Orioles. They had back-to-back ones. It was 5-4 Twins, then 6-4. Tim Laudner added one. The O's rally 7-6 in the 9th. Fred Lynn to Tommy Herr, strands 2 runners, and the Twins win 7-6. 20 consecutive losses ties the American League record held by 3 other teams. Prior to the game, the Twins released 43-year-old future Hall of Famer Steve Carlton. We hope to go to Fred Hickman in a moment. He is standing.
The 2-0 lead held the Mets in check for 7 solid innings. Here, getting Gary Carter swinging. Smith had a 3-hitter, 3-hit shutout through 7. But Chuck Tanner called on Bruce Sutter in the 8th, and the former bullpen king pitched 1 flawless inning. Here, facing Mookie Wilson, and then turning the ball over to the new Atlanta closer, Paul Ossenmacher, who put a man on in the 9th, then grooved one to Keith Hernandez, who pulled the curveball, got it up in the air, curled in for the home run to tie the game. So much for that pitching change. So Tanner brought in Charlie Palaio, who walked 2, loaded the bases, and then lost Len Dykstra on a full count payoff pitch, and Kevin McReynolds trotted home with the winning run. The Mets rallied from the dead, scored all 5 times in the 9th, and tagged Atlanta again.
Going back to the Royals-Yankees, Frank White off Tommy John, and Pags with the diving stop gets up to get White, who still has a little life left in those legs. As we show you the replay, they used to have a third baseman named Greg Nettles, but even Greg Nettles would stand up and applaud for this one. Mike Pagliarulo, as Pags gives us our POD.
Got him with a fastball, and it looked like it was out of the strike zone. So Sid gets a big strikeout there.
Now, that's the thing about this Cincinnati lineup. It's a very strange young lineup. A lot of speed, but they strike out a lot. A lot of power, but they strike out a lot.
So now 2 minutes. If the Mets can handle the play. Hernandez puts it away, and that'll retire the side. 2 hits, a walk, and 3 men left on base. And the score at the end of 1. The Mets nothing, the Reds nothing. Now here's a word from the good olds guy.
That's the best action in the game. So
instant replay. Oh no. Even the Reds are looking at it. That is funny.
And a line drive base hit to right field. Another big base hit by Mookie Wilson. Elster to third, and a throw offline. And Elster goes in safely as the Mets take the lead 1-0. And Mookie extends his hitting streak. He does not go, and it's ball 4. The ball gets away. Here comes Elster, and he'll score. And the ball gets away again. Mookie moving down to second, but holding there. And the Mets now lead by
left on base in 3 innings between the 2.
Johnson running, and the pitch grounded through the hole. The hit and run works perfectly as Johnson will go to third, and Tracy Jones bobbles the ball. Howard being sent, now going back, and the ball gets away. Johnson could have scored as Diaz couldn't come up with it. Elster down to second as Danny Jackson was backing up, but Howard Johnson, who was halfway home, could have scored, but marking at third and pointing to third base. That's because the ball was hit to the left side of the field. When a ball is hit to the right side of the field, the fastball grounded to third. Sabo goes to second. Concepcion drops the ball, but Mookie Wilson was out
before the play. Keith lines one to left. It's curving away from Daniels. It'll fall in fair territory. Teufel will stop at third, and Hernandez cruises in with an RBI double, and the Mets lead 4-2. And a big two-out base hit by Keith Hernandez.
Harem-scarum way of stopping runners at third. Not true. Oh, boy, he dropped down and throws Esaski. Third strikeout for Cone, 7 in a row, retired by David.
Well, he is humming tonight.
The movement on the previous pitch to this pitch is part of what contributed to Esaski being locked up.
The pitch before, third baseman in the game, but Chris Sabo's making it tough for him to come back.
And a swing and a miss. So a strikeout ends the inning, a 1-2-3 inning for David Cone. And the score at the end of 7, the New York Mets 4, the Cincinnati Reds 2. Now here's
where he might have been hit by the pitch. Ripped to left and deep down the line. Home run. The ball game is tied. A ground ball cut off by Magadan. He'll have to hurry. He gets him. So the inning is over, but the Reds tie it on a sacrifice fly and a home run with 2 out by Bo Diaz. And we will go to the ninth, tied 4-4 after this for Mita Copiers. Fairly well against left-handed pitching. And Teufel drives one into the left center field gap, and it will not be caught. One hop over the wall, ground rule double. And Teufel at second base with 2 out here in the ninth. Official at bats. He walked back in the first inning, and he takes a strike, and he doesn't think so.
That ball looked like it was way out of the strike zone. You might say it's useless to complain on the first pitch, but with a runner in scoring position, the count means so much to a
strike. Hernandez with a base hit to left field. Teufel rounding third. Here's the throw by Daniels. Safe. And Hernandez down to second on the play. Rounds and holds there as the ball gets away. And what a big base hit by Keith Hernandez to give the Mets a 5-4 lead with 2 out here in the top of the ninth inning.
Well, this is a very, very weak throw from Daniels. Teufel really should have been thrown out. This ball's hit the left. Daniels gets it in fairly close, but he doesn't get anything on it. And Teufel, who does not run that well, gets in ahead of the throw, and the ball gets away. Hernandez going down to second for 2 reasons. One, with 2 men out, you want to be down there. And secondly, you hope it's cut off so the run will score. You're actually hoping in a way that they'll make a play.
A ground ball to third. Magadan right there. A long throw in time, and the Mets win it. 5-4 as Keith Hernandez gets stepped on the final out of the ball game, apparently, as Keith's limping off of there. But Roger McDowell, who gave up a game-tying home run, is the beneficiary of Keith Hernandez and Tim Teufel combining for the winning run in the top of the ninth. McDowell, the winner, is 3-0, and the loser, Rob Murphy, is 0-1, as the Mets have now won 5 of 6 on this road trip tonight, beating Cincinnati in the opener of this 3-game series 5-4. Ralph and I'll be back to wrap it up in just a minute, so stay with us. We'll return to Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati after this for Michelob.
Nick Charles and Fred Hickman.
Hey, 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 Oh, well. By the way, hello out there in television land. What a surprise tonight. Did the Orioles win the World Series? Did the Orioles win the pennant, the division? No, the Orioles
just
won a game.
Hallelujah, it's over. Couldn't do it while I was there, though, guys, right? Well, one more. Now we're going to have some fun. Bob Rivers.
The guy, the nut we saw at the beginning.
Yeah, he's been on the air for, what, 6, 7 straight days, I don't know, back in Baltimore. Now he gets to go home and he gets to relax. Well,
and he gets the cleaning bill.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say, he's going to take care of all this. Anyway, Let's tell you what we're talking about here. Well, you thought Michael Jackson was the only guy out on the middle of a bad tour. Well, of course, you know the Baltimore Orioles were over everything before tonight. They took their act into Chicago, guest of the Chicago White Sox, and I guess by now you know that Baltimore has won after losing 21 consecutive games to start the season, too shy of the big league mark for an overall losing streak. Let's see how it happened. There's Roland Heeman. He had that suit on that back in '83 he won the division with while he was with the White Sox. And here he is, Eddie Murray. Top of the first inning, puts the Orioles on top early. A 2-run homer to right field, and it was 2-0 in favor of the O's. But you know how things have been. You can't depend on an early lead with him. Top of the fifth, Pete Stanisic, single, steals second. Billy Ripken flies to right field. Ivan Calderon makes the catch, but Stanisic tags up. They even scored runs like a big league baseball team. Look at that. They're just moving around the base paths there. Jack McDowell now uncorks a wild pitch past Carlton Fisk. Stanisic is able to score it, and it's 3-0 in favor of the O's. They're shaking the champagne. Top seven, Larry Sheets grounds to John Davis. Tag Sheets with the ball in the wrong hand. Nice move. Cal Ripken scored. Who are the Orioles here? Are they playing the Orioles? I'm not sure. Scary moment, though, right here. Billy Ripken is decked. He's hit right in the ear flap with a pitch from Davis. They took him off. Minor concussion. He's going to be just fine. Last out of the game, Harold Baines grounds out. And the celebration was on. The Orioles win it by a final score of 9-0. Winning pitcher, Mark Williamson. First Oriole win of the year. Game-winning RBI, Eddie Murray. First game-winning RBI of the year. We'll have more to say on the Orioles later, and in fact, we're hoping to be going to Chicago very shortly to talk with our Jeff Flocky.
1-2 pitch. And Davey loops it to second base. A break for the Mets. Well, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Tracy Jones getting a big jump off first base.
That's a bad play. And the reason is exactly that. He didn't look up. If you're going to run, you've got to look up and find the ball. And if you look up, you find the ball, and I think you can get back in time. You've got to realize the go-ahead run, this is the 8th inning. The go-ahead run's on third base, an easy double play. And it could have been worse for the Mets.
Well, we got an exciting and an interesting ball game, and we'll be...
You move in quickly.
And a good bunt right there. McClendon taking his time and then throwing to first base. He gets Kevin Elster, but Howard Johnson advances on a good bunt by the shortstop. To short. Larkin. Oh, boy, he pulled him off the base. Safe, he's able to run, scored. Do you believe it? A late call by the first base umpire.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Bill Robinson, I think, made the call for him, and because it was late, Osaski didn't have a chance to throw home to get Johnson. I don't believe it.
I don't either. Look at this. That's what Pete's arguing about.
Well, why didn't he call? Well, Pete's got a point because he's got to make the call right now.
Oh, boy. Look. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. They better grab Pete.
Seen Pete Rose touch an umpire or even come close to an umpire.
Well, Pete will get suspended too.
Yep.
He got to suspend him.
He's saying that Dave Pallone touched him in the jaw.
What happened was he mimicked him. I thought that burnt up Pete Rose when he mimicked him. I'm not sure that's good policy either.
Well, here's the play once again. It appeared that Osaski was off the bag. We're not saying that he didn't get the right call. Now, he was off the bag right there. The point was, watch Pallone. He does not make an initial call. Mookie looking back. Bill Robinson pointing to the bag. Bill's doing his job. Pallone didn't make the call right away. And that allowed Osaski, assuming he was out, not to be able to... Now he pointed at him, and I think he made contact. I think he hit Pete Rose in the face. And that's what maybe Pete was telling Eric Gregg, that he touched him. And certainly mimicked him. And this place is a little nuts right now.
Yeah, you know, when he mimicked him, I think that just incited Pete.
Well, and I think he may have made contact too, Fran. Otherwise, why would Pete point to his face?
You know, Tim, what I would have done, of course, we have, obviously, hindsight up here. Bill Robinson stepped into fair territory in front of Osaski. Even the
players off the field.
You believe this?
Here it is one more time. Well, Pete is clearly in the wrong there.
Yes.
No excuse.
That's
no
right.
excuse for that. Clearly in the wrong.
Again, the only thing that I can see exciting Pete or inciting Pete is the mimicking of him.
Or contact made on his cheek.
Yeah.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Okay, they're taking Pallone out of the game, I guess. Pallone will leave the ball game. Everybody's, well, they're throwing debris at Pallone. I don't blame him for leaving. They're going to do it with 3 umpires now. This is crazy. You can't do that.
Well, this is ridiculous. It's not the fault of the Cincinnati management.
They catch Mookie Wilson at second base, but the damage has been done in a lot of ways here in the top of the ninth. The Mets have picked up 1 as we go to the bottom of the ninth. They have the lead and will be back.
And it's not just a Cincinnati crowd. It's any crowd that would get involved to this degree of throwing things onto the field.
Going to win the second game of this 3-game series. It's over.
If I were the Mets, I'd get off the field. Shake hands in the clubhouse.
That's right.
And they're doing that. They're doing exactly that.
They got to get off. As you can see, Howard Johnson and Keith Hernandez with hard hats on when they went out to play defense. And the Mets hustling off the field. The fans very unhappy here in Cincinnati. The Mets have to be happy. They just won a 6-5 ball game. 6 runs on 9 hits, no errors for the Mets. 5 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Reds. And there's a happy Davey Johnson, and we'll be back. Glove. Kevin McReynolds comes in and gloves the ball, gets it in as Lloyd McClendon heads for home plate. A great throw by Kevin McReynolds, and watch Gary Carter block home plate. They stop McClendon. Of course, an argument ensued right after this play. But obviously, from that angle, you can see that McClendon was out. So that's our Budweiser play of the game. So, again, a lot of excitement here.
Yeah, I guess that was really...
Sports Late Night. Simply put, it was a wild game. The Mets and Reds hooked up in a Donnybrook where no less than 3 main figures got tossed from the game, a game that was almost ruled a forfeit. Riverfront Stadium, the tempers flared in the 7th. After Darryl Strawberry had homered earlier, Tim Teufel got hit. Now, Strawberry had been brushed back by Tom Browning, and seeing Teufel hit, he stormed out of the dugout right at Browning. The benches emptied. A shoving match ensued. Browning was ejected. Strawberry was tossed out of the game, but the night was still very young. Oh, yes, it was. The Reds rallied to tie it at 5, and then in the top of the ninth, a critical play. Mookie Wilson's bouncer to short. Watch this. A bad throw by Barry Larkin pulled Nick Osaski off the bag. Umpire Dave Pallone made a late call, and a hustling Howard Johnson steamed home with a go-ahead run. Pete Rose was enraged. He bolted out of the dugout, went toe-to-toe with Pallone, who pointed at Rose and struck him in the eye. Rose then bumped Pallone, got ejected, bumped him again, and that really triggered it. The fans, extremely upset, began to litter the field with all sorts of garbage. The Reds pulled their players. The Mets pulled their players. A 14-minute delay ensued. The umpires sought refuge amid beers and booze. Reds owner Marge Schopp pleaded for calm. Pallone eventually left the game. The other umpires did return. Calm was restored for the moment. The Mets went on to win 6-5, and for the moment it grabbed a share of first place in the National League East amid all that turmoil. But it didn't last for very long, because in San Diego, Bob Watkins was winning.
Hey, how about this, our final kicker? You think the ball will surely drop, but Ellis Burks is one step quicker. Now let's travel to our next feature for gems of defense that'll make you shake and shiver. We start with Detroit's Chet Lemon. Steve Buechele, Texas Rangers. Texas teammate Scott Fletcher. Cal Daniels, Cincinnati Reds. California's Johnny Ray. Yankees' Tim Stoddard. Philadelphia's Bob Dernier. Montreal's Tim Wallach. Jack Howell, California. New York Mets, Wally Backman. Glenn Braggs, Milwaukee. To the wall, Devon White, Angels. And finally, Fred Lynn, Baltimore. Hey, fellas, well done. Just like that, the Mets' Keith Hernandez got hot, snapping out of a woeful slump by pounding Atlanta pitching. In 2 games, he collected 3 homers and 9 RBIs, including career RBI number 1,000. In the series, manager Davey Johnson also picked up career win number 400.
Last night here in Cincinnati, it was a game fraught with controversy. In the 7th inning, Mookie Wilson's drive into right center field could have been caught, but it goes for a triple, as Mookie is at third base with the Mets leading at this point 4-2. The very next hitter, Tim Teufel, starts to step out of the batter's box. Tom Browning is called for a balk by home plate umpire Eric Gregg, who says that Browning started his motion home and then stopped. The balk brings Mookie Wilson in from third with the 5th New York run, and the Mets now lead at 5-2. Browning none too happy. The next pitch to Tim Teufel is right in the middle of Teufel's back. Now Darryl Strawberry, who had homered earlier in the game off of Browning, is the first to charge the mound from the dugout. Both benches empty. The bullpens are there. There's lots of pushing and shoving going on. Not really a fight, but then as the umpires restore order, Strawberry and Browning are both ejected from the game. The Reds eventually tie the game, and then in the 9th inning, Mookie Wilson, with 2 out, hits a ground ball to Barry Larkin at short. Larkin's throw pulls a Sasky off the bag, as pointed out by Bill Robinson. No call initially from Pallone, who then says safe, and on the play, Howard Johnson scores from first. Dave Pallone and Pete Rose go at it, and we'll have not only more on the fight, the controversy, and the aftermath, but a whole other ball game for you as well, coming up next from Cincinnati right here on WWOR.
Oldest player to hit a home run was Cap Anson at 46 of age. This one down the line, and it'll be extra bases in all probability. Teufel scores easily. Hernandez on his way to second. He just does get in there. So back-to-back doubles, and the Mets have the lead 1-0.
Well, the full count after missing with the breaking ball, another fat fastball by Rasmussen. Teufel scores easily, and Hernandez easily has a double. Relatively, Teufel scored more easily than Hernandez.
23? How can he have arthritis at 23?
He has everything else. A good curve, a fastball, might as well have arthritis. 3-2 to Davis, and the fastball blooped out in the right center. Here comes Teufel. He made the play. What a catch by Tim Teufel to take an extra base hit away. Sensational play by Teufel to end the inning, and the Reds go down 1-2-3. The score at the end of 1. The Mets won, the Reds nothing. Now here's a word from Manufacturers Hanover. Is it the pitch you're looking for? All those things in such a short time.
Curveball gets Daniels. First strikeout for Gooden. And Cal going back to the dugout saying, well, if he could throw me a 3-2 curveball that breaks like that, well.
It's all over when you have this kind of ability to get a 3-2 curve over. You know, Nolan Ryan said the strikeout is the...
For the 4th player to lift one of the Lowe's section, Dodger Stadium, and again the curveball gets Saski.
Well, Saski has been up 4 times in his major league career against Dwight Gooden. He has been struck out all 4 times, and there was a good reason for it this time, because this is another one of those yellow hammers, boy.
Ooh. So the fish are biting.
Feller. And he had a great curve.
And there it is again. So Gooden features 3 curveballs to strike out 3 in a row. It's 1-0 New York after 2 innings of play. And we're back after this from Pan American. Curveball gets Rasmussen. Strikeout number 4 for Gooden. All on curveball. 2 outs.
Task to try to sacrifice against Gooden. If there's an
What's going on? When you honor Joyce Kilmer with no trees?
Well hit to left field by Tuffle. Daniels going back. Home run, Tim Tuffle. A 2-run shot, and the Mets lead 3-0.
3-0. That ball was roped. Tim Tuffle continues his onslaught against the Cincinnati Reds. He's 5 for 9 this year. He did 5 for 10. Going into last night's game, he was 9 for 17 lifetime against Tom Browning. He just buggy whips the Reds. Fastball, and again, the fat part of the plate. Boy, did you see that head right down?
Arms extended and eye right on the pitch.
Man.
9 games. And Hernandez hits it well to center field. Davis going back, looking up. Home run, Keith Hernandez. Tuffle and Hernandez with back-to-back home runs, and the Mets lead 4-0.
Hernandez just on fire. That low 5 with Darryl Strawberry because nobody's tall enough to give him a high 5.
Got to take a kitchen stepladder out there.
Keith told me last year that the most indicative thing about the ball being wrapped tighter was his home runs to center field. He had 5 home runs to center field, 3 to straightaway center last year and 2 to left center. And he said when he can hit balls like that far straight away, then the ball's got to be juiced up or wrapped tighter or whatever it might be. And here he is hitting one of the, I mean, he got all of that ball.
Foul territory to the third baseman Chris Sabo, applied very deep to left fielder Daniels in left center field. Darryl hits it a ton. Fair or foul? Home run. 3 home runs in a row. Another monster shot off the bat of Darryl Strawberry, and the Mets now lead 5-0.
It hit the facade in the upper deck. There's only one player that I know of that has hit one in the upper deck here. I'm sure there have been others, but offhand, one player, George Foster, he hit a 3-2 slider off Steve Carlton. I called it. That's why I remembered it. I mean, that was awesome.
Kevin McClellan
protecting it from foul balls, at least Jeff is.
Well hit to right center field. Davis going back deep. What a catch! Eric Davis with a leaping grab ties him for the all-time Mets club record. 154 career homers to tie Dave Kingman.
Boy, he did it in grand fashion, too. Just a matter of whether the ball was fair or foul. It was about, I guess, 5 or 6 feet fair. Hitting the facade, the row of concrete that is in the top of your picture, well, actually one down, and that's where the ball hit. A little white dot there. Awesome. Well hit, deep left field. Did he catch it? Cal Daniels went back. Did he catch it? No call has been made yet. Daniels is on the ground, and I don't know whether the ball's in his glove or not.
He hit the wall hard. We still can't tell whether he made the catch or not.
I'm not even sure if Daniels knows. Harry Gregg is out there. He's got to check his glove. And that appears to be a home run. It is a home run for Howard Johnson. Home run number 4 on the year, and the Mets lead it 9-0, and Cal Daniels is hurt.
It couldn't have cleared his glove by more than a couple of inches. I thought he may have caught the ball.
I did too. Now watch Daniels. He goes up. He times the leap perfectly. Now you can see that the ball probably went off the end of his glove. And the contact with the wall, it may have even tipped the webbing of his glove as it went over the fence. And the contact with the wall maybe even did it in 85. Just shattered his bat. Garcia thrown out by Gooden, and the ball game is over. Dwight Gooden goes to 6-0 with a masterful 4-hit shutout of the Cincinnati Reds here at Riverfront this afternoon. For the doctor, his second shutout of the year, his 4th complete game. He strikes out 6, walks only 1 in going the distance yet again, and becomes, as I said, the first New York pitcher since '85 to have 4 complete games in a row. The losing pitcher is Cincinnati starter Eric Rasmussen, who is now 1-3 on the year. We'll be back with a brief wrap-up, and of course stay tuned, because Ralph will be along with Kiner's Corner as the Mets close out a great road trip with an 11-0 victory over Cincinnati. We'll be back after this for Budweiser.
Over the Mets, who mauled the Braves last night. It was shutout baseball. This is Lee Mazzilli singling in both Lenny Dykstra and Keith Hernandez. Also last night, as they won it 8-0, Darryl Strawberry became the all-time Met home run leader, guys, with 155, passing Dave Kingman. One game this afternoon.
New York, bottom 3. Keith Hernandez with the bullet past Ron Gant. This one scores Dave Cone, and it's 3-0 New York Mets. Bottom of the 5th. Kevin Elster blasts this one to left center field. It soars out of the ballpark, scores Lee Mazzilli, and it's 5-0 New York Mets. On to the 6th inning, where Darryl Strawberry hits an opposite side of the field home run. It scores Tim Tuffle and Keith Hernandez. 8-0 New York. Dave Cone comes away with his first major league shutout. The final score last night, New York 8, Atlanta 0.
But they weren't quite done yet. Then in the very next inning, Darryl Strawberry made history when he ripped a three-run home run off reliever Juan Eichelberger. It was Darryl's 8th home run of the year. More importantly, however, it was his 155th of his Met career. That is the all-time team record. Tomorrow night in Atlanta,
as he earned his first major league shutout, 8-0 Mets get it. He struck out 5, 3-0 record. In Los Angeles, the Pittsburgh Pirates were getting shelled so badly by the Dodgers that they brought in outfielder John Cangelosi to see if he could do any better. And he didn't do badly.
In baseball tonight, New York beginning a series against Houston. If you're the Astros, you want to get out of town because the Mets exploded. Tim Tuffle with the home run. This in the 2nd inning. It was a 2-run shot for Tuffle, and the Mets led 5-0. Then in the 4th, Howard Johnson high and deep to left. You want to watch Billy Hatcher. Can he jump and get it? Up, 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 off the top of the wall. It was 6-0 Mets. Terry Leach pitched 4 innings of relief in helping out Sid Fernandez, who got the win. It was 8-0 Mets the final. New York's 7th shutout of the young season. On the board, Danny Jackson
scored with 20. He's number 4. In total bases with 59. He's number 2. Renicky is there, tagged to 3rd is Tuffle. He'll score easily. Going back to 1st is Hernandez. Tuffle scores. Hernandez holds at 1st, and the Mets lead it 1-0.
There is such excitement here at Shea, Ralph.
Drive to left field. Going way back, the left fielder, Daniels. It is caught as Daniels takes it off the top of the fence to retire the side. Cal Daniels.
Sunday afternoon in Cincinnati. And here takes a home run away from Kevin McReynolds. And it would have been a 2-run homer.
There goes the runner. The ball is taken. The throw down to second in time. And Diaz is thrown out. Gary Carter coming out of the chute and picking up the runner, attempting to steal.
First time Gary has nailed the Cincinnati runner. I really don't know where Diaz was going here. Good throw by Carter. And in fairness to Gary, most of the runners that have stolen off of him, there's
Musson right now. There goes the runner, and Hernandez not being held on, steals a base, and he did not have a stolen base last year. That is his first this year.
Well, they ought to give him the base or something here, Ralph. They got to do something. Big, slow curveball. Nobody paid attention to him. Smart base running by Keith Hernandez. Diaz making an effort, but certainly Hernandez had an incredible jump. Saski was playing way behind him at first. Position.
And it's up the middle, a base hit. Hernandez will score, and the Mets will lead it 2-0 as Keith picks up a stolen base to get in the scoring position.
Mets have won 16 out of their last 20. A lot of things are going right. Keith Hernandez gets a stolen base. Darryl Strawberry singles up the middle. And the Mets score another run.
Strawberry has driven in both runs now. And
fastball grounded to third. Johnson gets the one at second and on to first in time. A ball that really wasn't hit sharply enough to think of as a double play ball turned into a double play by the Mets to end the inning. 2-0 New York in the middle of the sixth, and we're back after this for the New York Times. Sabo's running a pitch out, and Carter's throw right there. The inning is over, but the Cincinnati Reds score 2 runs with the help of a walk, a hit batter, and 2 base hits. And in the middle of the 7th, it's tied 2-2. Now here's a word from Michelob.
Paul O'Neill, the runner at first base. Myers again back in a swing and a miss, and that'll do it. But the damage done on the home run by Chris Sabo as he leads off the 10th against Randy Myers. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 left to score at the end of 9.5 innings. The Reds 3, the New York Mets 2. Now here's a word from... The 3-0 pitch. Ball 4. The Mets have the tying run on with Darryl Strawberry coming up.
Scott Breeden, the pitching coach, coming out to top. One of the managers, or I guess you could say one of the managers, right?
1 to tie here in the bottom of the 10th inning. And a drive to deep right field. It's going, and it's gone. Goodbye. And the Mets win it on Strawberry's 2-run home run in the 10th inning.
I don't believe what we've just seen.
I am speechless. Darryl Strawberry.
Carly Simon's got a song out that's called That's What Dreams Are Made Of. And this is. I really don't believe that.
Well, it's a true story. We've seen it now in the replay 3 times. It must be for real.
Run it back one more time. I'm not convinced.
So Franco takes his second loss, both to the Mets. This one, he has given up his first earned runs of this season, and his first home run as Darryl Strawberry hits his 9th, and the Mets win it.
It's almost as though Franco has a resigned look on his face, as if to say, hey, Darryl Strawberry beat me. He might be the best hitter in the National League right now, maybe in baseball. He has had an awesome first 26 games. Unbelievable.
So the Mets win it in the 10th inning by a score of 4-3. And we'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment, right after this word from AT&T. Star of the game is Wally Backman.
Yeah, Wally was a pinch runner scoring in front of Strawberry. You're kidding, right?
Wally coming in to be the pinch runner for Keith Hernandez. After he walked, he scores the tying run, and Darryl Strawberry is the star of the game as he won it with the home run in the bottom of the 10th inning with 2 men out off of John Franco. So the Mets winning the ball game by a score of 4-3. A great baseball game here at Shea.
And the unbelievable thing, Ralph, is the ball hit the bottom of the score.
Coming off a nearly perfect game against the Expos.
There's a rope down the right field line. Hernandez, extra bases. Here comes Dykstra. And Hernandez glides into second base with a stand-up double. And listen to the crowd.
Tries to come inside on Keith. He hits it a little above the trademark and keeps it fair. See, Howard Johnson can't hit a ball like that inside and keep it fair. He gets the good part of the bat on the ball. There's really a technique, and that man has a great technique.
2 out.
Kevin looking like an airplane on this. It looked like he was trying to find a place to land as he circled into the ball. Ball hanging up a little bit more than Heath figured at the beginning, and now he makes the dive. There it is, a soft landing.
I guess you get in the habit of doing that since LaGuardia is close by.
Have to do that. Get in the traffic pattern and then wheels down.
Well, that was the proper flight pattern. Of course, Cal 0 for 3 with an RBI. Ground ball to short, could be 2 to second. Back to first, Mets win 2-1.
Well, this ball is not an easy ball to handle, but Elster comes up with it. He started with a glove low, and that's how you come up with those balls that jump up like that. And then the turn by Backman, and the easy double play ends the ball game. And the Mets now have won 5 in a row from the Cincinnati Reds, all 5 games that they have played. Good job by Elster as he really came up with the tough hop and then started the double play.
You call it exactly right. That was a lot tougher hop than it initially appeared because that ball came up biting, as it often does. Well over 50,000 total in the house going home happy, watching their New York Mets beat the Cincinnati Reds 2-1. 2-7-0 for the Mets. Game-winning RBI to Keith Hernandez.
Today, right here on Channel 9, the best matchup, just about anyway, that baseball can offer. Dwight Gooden at 6-0 going up against Mike Scott 4-0. The only way they could make it better is if Roger Clemens was the umpire. Top of the 6th, scoreless game until Gary Carter drives the pitch from Jimmy DeShays into the gap and up against the wall in left center. That scores Keith Hernandez. It's 1-0 Mets. Bottom of the 6th now. Carter at the plate again. Singles off reliever Ernie Camacho. He gets the game winner as Darryl Strawberry comes home. The Mets over the Astros 5-2. Hey, just in case you're counting, the Oakland Athletics 14.
While on the mound for the Astros, it's right-hander Mike Scott, 4-0, with an ERA of 2.09.
Here he comes. I'll tell you what, that looked like Carter's glove got his foot. Gary puts his glove right down in there. It's a tough call for the umpire. He certainly can't see everything. Slides to that outside. Now look where Fromming is. He really has a tough time seeing that because he's got to look over Carter.
So the steal since 1981 for Houston. And the curveball gets him. So Houston opens up with 2 runs on 1 infield hit. 1 batter hit by a pitch ball, no one left on base, and the score at the end of 2, Houston 2, the New York Mets nothing.
And a high, deep drive to center, and all Hatcher can do is look at it. It is gone. A home run for Darryl Strawberry, and this game is tied 2-2. That is
is the first time in 6 starts Mike Scott has given up a home run. He had not given up a home run in his last 5 starts. But the straw man hit one about 440 feet. And a 2-2 tie.
What an impressive home run that was. I mean, that ball was extremely high. You knew he hit it well, but in this ballpark where the ball does not carry, as Hatcher was moving back, you thought he was looking at the ball like he could catch it for a second. After he checked the fence, though, look at that ball. What power. Picks that foot up, gets everything into this one. And again, not pulling the ball, hitting Scott back.
3 runs on 2 hits, a big 2-run homer by Glenn Davis, and Houston leads. Gooden's hacking, and it's off of Scott's glove. The ball rolling free. Doran picks it up, not in time. Dwight beats it out. It'll have to go as an infield base hit as Scott knocked it down, but Doran couldn't get there soon enough to get anybody.
Dwight Gooden's second hit of the night, stays back, goes right through the box. The ball jammed him a little bit. When Scott knocks it down, makes it tough. Durham was going to second base. Gooden hustling down the line, just beats that play you saw.
Dykstra hits it well into the gap in right center field. And it's off the wall on 1 hop. Elster will score. Gooden being held at third. And Dykstra with an RBI double. And it's now 5-3 Houston. Still nobody out here in the 5th inning.
Dykstra, who flew out his last 2 times up, gets on top of this one. It's out over the plate, but he goes and gets it. This ball goes up against the wall. Gooden was on his way. He was right at third base behind Elster. You see Sam Palazzo holding him up because the ball was coming into the infield.
Sammy had a tough job. They were so close to getting him. Pulled into the hole at second base. 1 run will score as Backman is thrown out by Bill Doran. Gooden comes across with the 4th New York run, and it's now 5-4 Houston. It's a fly ball to right field that should be deep enough to score Dykstra. Bass setting up for the throw. Dykstra breaking home. Here's the throw. It's up the line, and Dykstra slides in safely, and the game is tied as Hernandez drives in yet another run. His 24th of the season, and 20 of them have come in the last 14 games. 5-5, and we're tied yet again.
We've seen Kevin Bass make a lot of throws. This ball's on a little part on the kind of toward the end of the bat of Keith Hernandez's. Kevin Bass has a habit of the ball tailing up the line. He has a good arm. Here comes Dykstra. I mean, he's going full out. Watch him score here. Watch this dive. Around the tag, touches the back end of the home plate. Good aggressive slide there by Dykstra.
Would you expect anything else?
No.
Lenny says it's time to get rid of that Shaw. Here he comes again.
Smart base running. See that wide go? Tags that back end. No matter how close the play would have been for the catcher, he might not have tagged him.
That's knocked down. He's had him going a couple of different ways. High fastball gets him, and the inning is over. But Houston comes right back. 2 runs on 3 hits and a walk. And after 6, it is Houston 7 and New York 5. The Astros as a team have 6 saves, and Smith has 5 of them. Well hit to left, into left center. Off the wall. 2 runs are in. Here comes Mookie. No throw. 3 runs are in, and the game is tied. Tuffle with a bases clearing, bases loaded double. Davy Johnson wants to argue it's a home run. He's talking to Gary Darling, and it did appear as if it hit above the orange line. That yellow line atop the wall is supposed to be the home run mark. There was no signal. And Davy Johnson wants a grand slam home run, and he's asked Gary Darling to get some help.
And they are going to talk it over, and that ball appeared to hit above the yellow line, which means it's a home run. The fence is right up against that wall back there. The fence moved back to the wall, and we really can't tell. Right there, did it hit on the line or above it?
It looked to me like it hits above the line on the facade of the stadium and comes back onto the field of play.
And if it did, it's a home run, and the Mets would have the lead.
I thought it was a grand slam home run when I saw it. And now Bruce Fleming is telling Davy Johnson it's a double.
Well, the way it was played by the outfield, it would indicate it was a home run. Let's take a look at the whole play again and see how the outfield totally relaxes. They never did make a play home.
Terry Poole thought it was a home run. And he had as good a view as anybody.
Now let's see what happens to the left fielder. He's back there, and if it's over the fence, he would be nonchalant about playing the ball back in. If it isn't, he would hurry it back in to try and keep the tying run from scoring from first.
I think you can see right there it did hit the facade.
All right, the center fielder gets it, plays it back into the shortstop. Not much indication there at all.
I think you can tell from the trajectory of the ball and the bases clearing double, quote unquote, by Tim Teufel to tie the game. Had it been a home run, the Mets would be leading, but we go to the bottom of the ninth, tied yet again, 8.
Incaviglia.
Ground ball to second. Teufel bobbles it, steps on the bag in time for the force, but the Mets could have had a...
The tricky little hop here, loses possession, then quickly picks it up and gets to the bag just ahead of Bill Doran.
And Poole is running. The pitch is low and the throw in time, and the inning is over. Carter, in the 5th attempt tonight, throws out Terry Poole to end the 9th inning, and we will go to extra innings. Overtime in the Astrodome, tied 8-8 after this for Bud Light.
Tied it at 8. Right up the middle, and it'll be a base hit. Carter going to second and holding there, and Johnson with his second consecutive base hit. The Mets have runners at first and second with no one out.
To know that that's the right move.
Oh, you butt right into what they want. A line drive off the top of the glove of the third baseman Walling. That'll score a run. Coming around to score is Howard Johnson, and the Mets take the lead by a score of 9-8 as Kevin McReynolds comes up with a big base hit.
I mean, what an incredible game for the New York Mets. They've had such great games against Houston over the last 2 years, even the last 4 years. It's a hanging curveball. McReynolds hits it. Good try by Walling. Just ticks the glove. Only ensures that there's no chance to make any kind of a play at the plate.
And McReynolds, who did not. 2 strikes to count. And it's hit out to the second baseman, Teufel, and the Mets win an incredible ball game here against the Houston Astros, and they win the series 2-1. What a ball game for the Mets as they take off for San Francisco and the West Coast. So in the inning, no runs, no hits, a walk, 1 man left on, and the Mets win it in 10 innings by a score of 9-8. We'll be back with a recap right after this word from AT&T.
It didn't quite work out that way. Both big guns were banged around, neither one around at the end. Bottom of the first, Doc Gooden with the big motion, victimized by Bill Doran. He beats the tag by Gary Carter. Doran stealing home safely, or at least that's what umpire Bruce Fleming calls. So it's 2-0 Astros in the 4th when Darryl Strawberry launches the equalizer. His league-leading 10th home run comes with Keith Hernandez aboard. Bottom of the 4th, Astros leapfrog back in front on this 2-run home run off the bat of Glenn Davis. Gooden giving up 7 runs, 6 of them earned, leaves after 6 innings. The Mets get him off the hook and even the count at 5, then trailing again 8-5 in the 9th. Reliever Dave Smith deals to Tim Teufel. Bases loaded. Teufel drives the ball off the wall in left center field, clearing the bases. Mookie Wilson, the last to check in, to make the score 8-8. Now, after Mookie checks in, watch Davy Johnson get in some road work, arguing that Teufel's drive was a home run. The replay said he may have had a point, but his anxiety relieved not with antacid, but by this line drive, courtesy Kevin McReynolds, who didn't start last night, but he gets the game winner anyway. Howard Johnson scores it. The final, Mets over the Astros 9-8 in 10.
13.
Well, I have a few. When I'm hot, I set my on-deck circle up like a table setting. I have 2 bats I put in a certain order and the barrels facing out towards the mound. I have put my towel under my legs and all the other equipment to my right. I always find a sock that has a mark on it, a hole or a nick. When I first hot streak I hit, I'll wear it the rest of the year on that leg. And on Friday the 13th, I'm glad we're not flying.
Is that your only Friday the 13th superstition, that you don't want to fly?
I just don't want to fly that day, that's for sure. I mean, I don't really make a big deal out of it, but I just prefer to be on the ground. Even if they have an earthquake here. It's supposed to happen, right?
When dugout, he would have had a much better chance.
And you know what that wall did to Billy Martin, so he was cognizant of that.
A drive into right field and deep, and that one is away out and gone. And Mackey Sasser gets the Mets on the board with a home run to right. He had already been more famous for what he said about his wife's labor pains when he referred to it as my wife's contraptions are several minutes apart. But now he's a headline maker, much to the appreciation of his manager. 1-0 New York.
Upper deck is a long way here, and he got it up there in a hurry. Here's the swing. Just watching him, you think he was a low ball hitter. Breaking ball over the plate, and he knew he hit it because he was watching it.
The Mets lead the National League in a lot of areas, and
Line drive into right center field for a base hit. Hernandez scores. Abner cuts it off. McReynolds to third, and it's now a 1-run ball game as Carter picks up an RBI to make it 4-3 San Diego, and the Mets still.
And another wild pitch, and the run will score, and the ball game is tied up.
Shades of the third inning, and Strawberry was on second. And that's when Grant threw 2 successive wild pitches, first to third, and then wild pitch Strawberry home. So Kevin Elster scores after getting an infield base hit to lead off the inning and being sacrificed to second.
0 for 3 tonight against Gooden, and he tries to bunt his way on, pops it up. Here comes Carter sliding under it. Did he make the play? He did. What a play by Gary Carter as he slid in under that ball. The only way he could stop in time without running into the backstop.
And I'll tell you who else made a good play on it, and that's the home plate umpire, Ed Montague. Carter going hard. He's going to crash if he doesn't slide. He slides, and it comes up with the ball in the webbing of the catcher's mitt. Now, catcher's mitt doesn't have very much webbing. That's a fine play, and Ed Montague hustling back there right now.
Until this one. Picks up a strikeout, a 1-2-3 inning, his 6th strikeout of the ball game, and the score at the end of 6 innings of play here in San Diego. It's the Mets 4 and the Padres 4. Coming in to join Steve is Tim McCarthy.
Excellent point. Well hit deep to left center. Back is Mack. Playing too low. 3-run homer for Gary Carter, his first since April 26th, and the Mets lead 7-4.
Career number 299 for Gary Carter, who is now 1 away from 300. But this is a big one right here, as it gives the Mets a 3-run lead and breaks the 4-4 tie. Well out of here, not only over the fence, but over the wall and over the railing and into the seats in left center field. Carter's 8th of the year, and he now has driven in 4 runs tonight to give him a total of 21. 2-2 with 2 out. Got him. Roger McDowell faces 7 batters, retires them all in order to pick up his 4th save in relief of Dwight Gooden, who goes 6 2/3. And the Mets stop their 3-game losing streak by taking the first of this 4-game series here in San Diego 7-4. Gary Carter with the big 3-run home run. And a reminder that Ralph Kiner will be coming along as soon as Timmy and I wrap this one up with a special late night on the road edition of Kiner's Corner. So stay with us. The Mets win at 7-4, and we're back to San Diego after this for Bud Light.
And a 3-2 pitch again. Ground ball, third base. Hojo to first. In time, ball game over. David Cone now 5-0. Save goes to Randy Myers. A relieved David Cone. He pitched an outstanding ball game. So did the guy on the other team, Eric Shaw. Game was determined by a stolen base. Get the man over. A wild pitch, and Hernandez scored the only run of the ball game. A happy Davy Johnson. And the 8th shutout of the year for the Mets. Last year, the Mets had 7 shutouts. So, getting some good pitching, some timely hitting. And here's David Cone's reaction on the last pitch. And once again, the Mets beat the Padres 1-0. Line score, 1 run, 7 hits, 1 error for the Mets. No runs, 6 hits, 1 error for them.
3 times in those 14 at-bats.
Runners at first and second, and a check swing, little ground ball out toward shortstop, cut off by Johnson. He throws it badly, but somehow or other, Hernandez makes the catch, and did he get stepped on by the runner coming down, Jimmy Jones? What a play.
I didn't see whether or not it happened, but Keith might have gotten kicked in the head. Jimmy Jones went right over him. Jones never touched the bag. He actually ran right into Hernandez's glove, ball, and I think Keith's head. I think that
the knee got him.
Yeah, or the shin took Keith's hat right off. Well, he'd a diving, trying to cut the ball off. Johnson comes up, and his throw pulls Hernandez into the runner. Keith's on the bag. The runner's out. He doesn't really have to tag him. And now it looks like the shin or knee of the runner Jones hit Keith Hernandez right in the head. Now, Keith started to get up and then went right back down, and he is still down on the ground as we look at it one more time. Ojeda can't get it. Johnson knows he has to hurry, but he pulls Hernandez into the runner with the throw. It appears as if Keith has his foot on the bag. Now, right now, Jones is out. And Keith is falling down into the path. Jones tries to avoid him, but his right knee or foreleg catches Keith in the side of the head.
So that ends the inning, and the score at the end of 5. It is the Mets 1 and the Padres nothing. Now here's a word from Nissan.
Seven hits. He was traded for Pat Perry, the left-hander.
Deep to right, way back. Abner out of here. 2-run homer, Hernandez, 3-1 New York.
Keith Hernandez, who has been on a tear after a little swoon in San Francisco. 3 hits tonight, a single, a double, and now a 2-run home run to break a 1-1 tie. Right there, thigh high, out over the plate. Who's going to catch it? Nobody on the playing field.
Now Strawberry.
The most
Deep to right. Back is Abner. Up against the wall. 1 run scores. 2 runs. Here comes Carter. Throw home. Out at home. Gary Carter thrown out at home on a fine relay by Roberto Alomar. But 2 RBIs for Johnson on a booming double to right center. The Mets score 4 runs on 4 hits. There was 1 costly error and 1 left. After 6.5, 5-1 New York. We're back.
Right back to McDowell and by Roger, and Elster behind the bag again, gets ready again to end the ball game. McDowell gets the final 2 outs on ground balls in the ninth with the help of Kevin Elster. And the Mets have taken the first 3 games of this series with San Diego, with the 4th one to come tomorrow afternoon at 4 Eastern time. Tonight they win it 5-2. Bob Ojeda, the winner, goes 8 1/3. He is now 4-2 on the year. And the San Diego starter, Jimmy Jones, loses it. He is 3-5. Tim and I'll be back to wrap it up, and Ralph will have a special late-night Kiner's Corner for you, so stay with us as the Mets win it 5-2.
Against New York in his major league career. And this ball hit out to deep left field. It's way back there on the warning track as McReynolds. He jumps and he holds on to it. And he takes a home run away, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
But he does get an RBI as Thon comes in to score. But that ball appeared to be over the fence as McReynolds made the catch.
Well, John Kruk, a dominant left field hitter, rifles this one high. Now watch this play by McReynolds. That ball's out of here. As a matter of fact, I think he caught it in the web and brought it back. See, he did. He brought that ball back. Boy, that was a terrific play by McReynolds.
First base is short lead. And the curveball, strike 3, got him looking. So a fine curveball strikes out Guerrero, and that ends the inning. 1 hit, a man left at first, and the score at the end of 1, the Mets nothing. And he does throw the screwball, but he gets it up, and it's drilled deep to right field, and it is gone. Goodbye. Howard Johnson right on top of it, and he drills it out of the ballpark for home run number 43 for the New York Mets. And Howard touching them all.
That is the first time that Howard Johnson has had an extra base hit in Dodger Stadium. The very first time. And it's a home run. It's the only homered in. And you said it right, Ralph. That was a screwball high in the strike zone. Sutton tried to get it down, and he finally...
0 for 2 tonight, Howard. Line drive, base hit, center field. Carter will score. Johnson stumbles coming around third, but he will score easily. And the Mets lead it 3-0 as Mookie Wilson comes up with a big 2-out base hit.
And when he steals, he usually makes it.
Well hit to left. Base hit inside the line. Gibson can't get it. It's off the wall. McReynolds scores. Carter going to second. He's now going to third. And the throw not in time, and it's an RBI triple for Gary Carter. 4-0 New York.
This ball hit very hard, a little change-up screwball, and Gibson over to try and head it off, but it gets by him. Can't catch up with it, rolls around in that left field corner. McReynolds scores easily, and Carter really didn't even have to make the big slide as he goes into third. Gibson chasing that ball down, throws it in, it's cut off by the shortstop. No play at third base at all.
After he just sat down on the bench. Now here he is. He appears to be removing something from his left hand, throwing it away. Dave Sutton now looking like he's taking a little alcohol on a towel, which one would do if one wanted to remove some adhesive material, right, Mr.
Or
Kreiner?
pine tar, yes. Of course, that's off his left hand, and the left hand is the glove hand.
Yes, but when you take your glove off as a pitcher and you rub the ball with both hands, when you rub the ball up.
Grounded sharply to Hernandez, who makes the play and wins the foot race. Boy, a wicked two-hopper that Hernandez came up with to make the play. Big play, too. No runs for the Dodgers in the 7th, and after 7, it's 4-1 New York. We're back after this from Michelob.
Grounded. Hernandez has it. Myers racing Griffin, and he gets there.
Myers turning and looking, but the inning is over. Randall's always ready. And the Mets get out of big trouble here in the 8th inning. 1 run for Los Angeles, but it's still 4-2 New York as we go to the 9th inning after this for the good old Skies.
You hit, you play. If you don't, you sit.
Wally holding up, and Mookie going to third as the ball gets away. Mookie's coming home. Socia won't get there nearly in time. Mookie Wilson all the way from second base on a wild pitch, and the Mets lead it 5-2.
Socia couldn't pick the ball up immediately, and because of that, it cost Mike. Watch the hesitation there. Now see, he goes back, and now the ball comes over. There's really nothing he can do. Mookie picking up paper. How many times do you score from second on a wild pitch standing up? Oh, Mike.
Sachs off and running as he was not being held. A swing and a miss, and the throw in time. Second out of the inning as Mackey Sasser got rid of that ball in one quick hurry.
I'll tell you one thing, you can steal second base 99 times out of 100 in this situation, trailing by 3. If you're caught the 100th time, all of those other 99 times were wrong. There is nowhere for Steve Sachs to go here. The Dodgers trailing by 3, and this is a terrible base running mistake.
And
history.
Strikeout of Franklin Stubbs ends the ball game as Randy Myers picks up his 6th save, pitching the last inning and 2/3 as the 3rd pitcher of the night. Sid Fernandez picks up his 2nd win against 3 losses, and the losing pitcher is Dodgers starter Don Sutton, who is now 3-3 on the year. The Mets have won 5 in a row, and they've taken the first of this 3-game series against the Dodgers, 5-2. Tim and I will be right back to wrap it up. Ralph will have a special edition of Kiner's Corner for you, so stay with us. We're back to L.A. after this for Michelob.
Wally Backman reached first base as you look at Dwight Gooden.
And Dwight Gooden comes into this game with a record of 7-0. The Mets have won all 9 games that he has started. He's had 2 more. And he gets him with a strikeout, and he gets him with a breaking ball.
That'd be nice to be able to monitor.
And a wild swing of the curveball, and Gooden gets out of it. A walk, a stolen base with 1 out, and then 2 strikeouts. And the Dodgers do not score. At the end of 1, the Mets
twice. And he said, you better bunt some more.
Gooden has had some success at the plate, and he hits a base hit to right field for a big one. Coming in to score is Johnson. Behind him is Wilson, and the Mets lead it 2-0 as Gooden drives in his 5th and 6th runs of the season. That is his 7th hit as a pitcher for the Mets.
Big hit for Gooden, big hit for the Mets. But you got to agree with Tommy Lasorda's strategy. You have to walk Maganin to get to Gooden, but he can hit. He can hit the fastball very well. A lot of pitchers can hit the fastball very well. Bases loaded. Belcher throws the fastball. Gooden hits a bullet into right field. Oh, those fastballs. Those pitchers like those.
Go to game, get a little gift. Oh, boy, did that hit Griffin? I think it did.
On the hand.
Oh, brother. And if it did, it probably is serious. People booing here, there's no intention there. I don't think. And they have no history of any violence. 4-0 ball game. You don't want to hit the 8th place hitter.
Griffin new to the league.
Yeah, you don't.
It was high and tight, and it looked like Griffin got hit in the head, but he left his hands up there, and it got him on the hand against the bat, and that can be very serious. Griffin's a very durable player. He's played every game of the season 4 times when he came over here from the American League. And there you see that hand is squashed against that bat, and that's a problem.
Reminds Dubs he's strong. Ground ball. Great play, Hernandez to Gooden. I don't believe it. How does he continue to keep doing those things? No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left after 5, 4-0. Here it is again.
Well, it saves a run as Griffin was coming around third and would have scored if they hadn't have picked up the out.
New York. And it hit him.
Well, we're going to see a warning right here.
He might eject him. Dave Pallone may throw him out of the game.
Here comes Tommy Lasorda. And the warning has been given to both benches. You don't have to give it anymore. He can eject the ball player if he thinks he was throwing on purpose right now.
He can eject the manager, too. And he may eject the manager anyway if Tommy continues to argue like this.
That was a little bit obvious.
That was clearly intentional, clearly. But couldn't catch up to the heater. And the Dodgers go in order after 6, 4-0, New York.
Game will be at 4:05. Guerrero to short. Score this one, 6-3. That's the final out of the ball game, and the doctor is happy. His 8th win. He shuts out the Dodgers 4-0 for the Mets. 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Dodgers, no runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. And the doctor not only pitching a brilliant ball game again for the Mets, he drove in, and for the first time in his career, the winning run. A big base hit. They walked Magadan early in the ball game to get to the doctor, and the doctor stepped to the plate back in the 2nd inning and singled to right field, picking up 2 RBIs, helping his own cause, and he's victorious here at Dodgers Stadium. 2nd game of this 3-game series, and we'll be back.
The 1st inning, this is what Darrell did.
Well, he hits this pitch right over the center field fence after resting for 1 day yesterday. The first game he's missed. And he said
3 RBIs in the game. Wow, look out. Cruz just barely got down, and Hernandez will be stopped at second as that ball got out to John Shelby in one quick hurry. And Tim Cruz lucky to escape with his head still attached to his body.
Darrell gets his 3rd hit of this game, and it's a line shot. And boy, you're right. Cruz was lucky to get out of the way of that one. Shades of Herb Score when he was hit by Gil McDougall. A run. He has not scored a run or driven in run in a run in this series. That one snapped his helmet right off his head.
Well, Pete's looking out there at David Cone. And I don't know why David would be throwing at Guerrero in this situation.
Well, he got to pitch hitters tight. He didn't make much of a move to get out of the way. That pitch wasn't that far inside.
Besides, Pedro's the type of hitter, and we talked about it on Friday night, that you want to pitch high and tight because of his muscular upper body. And that's a difficult place for pitchers, or rather hitters, who have pitchers pitching inside as much as you do in the National League.
Pedro, he's got to get suspended.
Through the bat.
He's got to get suspended for that.
Barry Lyons wrestling Pedro away from Cone. That was a breaking ball.
It was a curveball, for crying out loud.
That was a curveball that Pedro really ducked into.
Oh, that is serious throwing that bat at that pitcher.
Really not much of a fight, as everybody really went out there to keep anything serious from happening, and that's a good thing.
Well, Barry Lyons getting a hold of Guerrero, who really lost his cool, and throwing that bat at Cone, and it was a curveball that hit him on the helmet. It was not a fastball. You don't throw at anybody with a curveball.
Besides, Pedro didn't even go down. I mean, he just sort of had to go plunk off of his helmet.
Ducked into it.
Well, Pete, I don't think you're going to first base, partner. I think you're going to the clubhouse.
Oh, I would believe so.
Coach Joe Ferguson out there to talk to him. Manny Mota helped get him. Here's the breaking ball. Riding in, Guerrero ducks. I think it hit on the shoulder. Now, Guerrero just fires the bat at Cone. Remember, the first 2 fastballs were high and tight. Glanced off his shoulder, maybe caught a piece of his helmet. And he felt he was being thrown at, and he just fired it out there. And Barry Lyons tackling him. Look at David. He's about half his size. He's saying, let's go.
David's tough. But I don't believe he's that tough. That Guerrero's really big. Well, there was an incident that happened here in Los Angeles when Juan Marichal took a bat and hit Johnny Roseboro over the head with it, and he was suspended for some time as a result of that. Roseboro, in throwing the ball back, I believe it was Sandy Koufax pitching, came close to Marichal, but you always do when you have a batter up there and you're throwing back to the pitcher, and Marichal took the bat and hit Johnny Roseboro on the body with it. I believe he got part of his batting helmet. And they're still restraining Guerrero.
Tommy Lasorda arguing with home plate umpire John Kibler, who's also the crew chief. And you could see, Tim McCarver pointed out, you could see David Cone saying it was a curveball.
It certainly was, all of that.
Well, it wasn't really the curveball hitting him that caused the problem. It was the two fastballs, the first two pitches, that Guerrero felt were too tight, that he stood and stared at Cone, and it led up to that. Then the breaking ball hitting him on the shoulder set everything off. But you can't throw a bat like that and remain in the ball game. And I'd have to think that Pedro, once this incident is reviewed, is going to miss a lot more than the rest of this ball game.
Well, he's out of the game.
The breaking ball coming in, and Guerrero just ducked into it, and now he fires the bat. And Cone gesturing to him, saying, "Come on," and here comes Pete. Now he fires the bat. Now watch, it takes him a while. Now he's going to take his helmet off here. Now Barry Lyons sees him go and tries to grab him. Now look at Pedro. He sort of slows up here, and that gives Barry Lyons a chance. And here's Cone saying it was a curveball. Now the bullpens had emptied, the dugouts had emptied. Mike Marshall out there quickly to restrain Guerrero. And Lasorda's still saying you've got to get Cone out of the game for throwing at Guerrero. That's, I'm sure Tommy's argument is that if Guerrero's out of there, David Cone's got to be out of there. But so far, Cone has not been ejected. But Tommy may get ejected here.
Tommy argued that Dwight Gooden should have been tossed out of the game for hitting Griffin yesterday.
Well, you're going to pitch Pedro Guerrero inside. And see, Pete really didn't make an effort to move. He didn't back off. He just sort of ducked and really protected his head with his shoulder.
So he's out of the game. We're going to have a pinch runner for him.
Jeff Hamilton is coming out to run at first base for Guerrero.
Start. And the runner going with a pitch. The throw is perfect, and they get him. So Scioscia attempting to steal as they are down by 3. Scioscia with no stolen bases, and he is thrown out on a fine throw by Barry Lyons. In the inning, 2 runs on 1 hit, and no one left on base. And the score at the end of 6, it's the...
Right now, goes outside. Barry Lyons setting up outside. On the corner, strike 3. Roger Mc...
On the mound with a record of 8-1 and an earned run average of 3.11. He's had 5 complete games, and 3 of those have been shutouts. Game. Ernie Lombardi did it twice, and he's picked. So Stubbs picked off at first.
Well, he had Stubbs leaning the wrong way. Good quick move by Dwight Gooden. Dwight has to be happy. He's been working on the move. And here it is. Flexes that back leg. And Stubbs was leaning, and they get him. Going back to first. Drysdale has to be happy with that move to first. They stopped him from doing it. There's the curveball. Guerrero. Is that an error? I don't know. It was a tough play, and in between hop for Pedro. Fans here loving that. But it's kind of a do-or-die play for Guerrero. Watch the in-between hop. Skips right over the glove, and it scored a base hit. That's reasonable. So a base hit for... I've never seen him. So he bunts the ball. And Sutton goes to second, not in time. Great for the Mets. The doctor helping himself. We talk about Gooden's uncanny instincts, and you won't see too many pitchers go to second on this ball. Don Sutton forgetting that Dwight Gooden, a tremendous athlete,
but more importantly, really poured it on.
Years old, you got to look at the runners. Gooden on third, Dykstra on second, and Beckman line drive, big base hit. Gooden will score. Here comes Dykstra, and they go to second to hold Beckman at first, and it's 2-1 Mets.
How about this inning so far? A bad hop single by Gooden, a sacrifice with Sutton going to second, the balk, and now the curveball drill to right center. Mets on top 2-1. Man. You don't cup it like that. Now watch him cup his left hand before he puts it into the glove. Watch. See, there's something there. Now, see, he cups it before he puts it back into the glove, and now he spreads it, and I would imagine, oh, there is something in there going into his glove. You could see him cup it. We're running it back, and you see, I feel like I'm going goofy or something trying to pick this up.
It's like Sherlock Holmes up here.
I'm telling you. Hello, Watson. Swing and a miss, got him. So the leadoff single and the stolen base by Shelby come to naught. It's 2-1 New York, middle of the 7th. Now let's join Lee Zeidman in our studio. 2/3 last night, relieved by Myers. It's Gooden all the way, deep to center. Backman, or Dykstra back, and this ball is out of here. Home run, Kirk Gibson, 2-2 ball game. Gibson ties it up with his 9th home run of the year, and he was sitting on this curveball, and Dwight got it up, and he got it up. There it is, breaking ball. It's about belt high, and it's belted. Was it ever? Home run number 9 for Gibson, a 2-2 game. Ball out tonight, but Kirk Gibson's home run is the reason we go to the bottom of the 9th. 2-2 ball game. So that's 52 times he's gone 9 innings. Carter calling for the pop-up. Also there is Johnson, and Johnson gets out of the way at the last minute as Carter, who had made the sign early, makes the play. So Scioscia out on... Carter's looking at the ball. Neither are calling it. Watch Gary. It's like he's trying to take his coat or something. Boy, get away from wallet. That's right. One thing about Gary, he can catch it. And another base hit. Charging the ball is Mookie. Comes up throwing. Here's the play at the plate. It's up the line and not in time. And the Dodgers take the lead by a score of 3-2 dugout. And that will be all for Dwight Gooden. Tied in the 9th inning. In the 10th, 2 runs on 3 hits. And 1 man left on base to score at the end of 9.5 innings. The Dodgers 4 and the Mets 2 now. And another one for ball 4. And the Mets have Mazzilli out and the time run coming to the plate. 3-2. Mazzilli does not go. It's ball 4, and that puts the tying run at first base, and the Mets have runners at first and second on 2 walks. And a line drive, base hit. Mazzilli will come in to score, going to third, and making it easily as Dykstra, as they made no play there. The throw goes into second, and Backman comes through with a big base hit, his 3rd in the ball game, and the Mets are still alive. sort, and everybody here at Shea seeing the reincarnation of Wally Backman. Great base running by Mazzilli and Dykstra, who teamed to not only score a run, but clear third base, so Dykstra could be there with less than 2 outs.
So the Mets are back in it. The tying run is now at third base. Mazzilli's third has to be very alert if it's a strikeout and a throw through. Runner goes, hit to the hole, and the tying run scores. Backman goes to third, and Keith Hernandez with a big single has put the Mets back in the ball game. And he hit the ball through the vacated position of the shortstop, who was covering second base with the runner running on the 3-2 count.
Why give up the position? If they're halfway on the play, you play your position and don't even think about covering second. Backman's got too much speed. Scioscia's going to stay back. Inexperienced at shortstop, Mike Sharperson. Backman draws Sharperson toward the bag. The ball goes through, and everything this inning has gone the Mets' way.
It started with a walk to Lee Mazzilli, then a following walk to Lenny Dykstra on a 3-2 pitch, a single by Backman to drive in a run, putting the... And he strikes out. So Pena with a fastball. Sachs makes a catch, and that does end the inning, but the Mets do get 2 to tie it. 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave 2 in the score at the end of 10. It's the Mets 4 and the Dodgers 4.
Deep to left center. Back is Mazzilli to the wall, and he makes the play. 2 outs. And he makes the play. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. Bottom of the 11th coming up. It's 4-4.
Game for defense, and what happens? He wins it on the offensive side. Line drive over the left field fence. Gibson hoping to play it off the fence, and it went on over, and Lasota sees another one go down the drain. The Dodgers leading by 2 as the Mets bat it in the 10th inning to tie it, and then winning the game in the 11th inning. That is the first home run by Kevin Elster since May 3rd. He got it all.
Wow. 5-4. The Mets win it in 11. Alejandro Pena, the loser. Randy Myers, the winner. A jubilant Shea Stadium. The Mets win their 2nd in a row on this homestand from the Dodgers. They're now 5-0 on the year against Los Angeles. Now let's join Lee Zeidman in our studios. We'll be back. Wow.
Thanks,
well, anyway, Kevin Elster, speaking of homers, take it, pal.
Well, Kevin right here sits on a fastball. Pena had retired his first 4 batters, striking out 2 of them. A big strikeout against McReynolds with the winning run on third base, and Elster drives it over the left field fence, and Kevin Elster is the Budweiser player of the game. And Elster with a big home run, his 4th and his first since the 3rd of May.
Also, the Quinella right there. He's a Texaco star of the game. That was a Budweiser play of the game.
Preceded some fireworks between the Mets and the Dodgers. Sid Fernandez pitching to Steve Sax. Look out. Ooh. Was he hurt? No. Somehow he ducked out of the way. The ball bounced off his bat, dribbled up the third base line. Sax saw the ball rolling, got up, and he ran. The first indication that he wasn't hurt. Ball was foul. No play. Next inning, retaliation. Tim Belcher hit Kevin Elster in the back. The umpire didn't even wait. He threw him out of the game. And, of course, Tommy Lasorda gave us about a 10-minute tirade. Ninth inning, 4-3 L.A. Pinch hitter Lee Mazzilli lined to second. Pinch runner Roger McDowell doubled up. Inexperience on the base paths cost the Mets the game. Tonight, the Mets start a series at Shea against the Cubs. Calvin Schiraldi against David Cone. Today, the Mets right-hander was named the National League's pitcher for the month of May. Cone has his own cheering section. They're cone heads, and they string cones together for every strikeout. He's 7-0. During one 15-inning stretch in May, he didn't allow a run.
I think I've progressed more mentally than physically. I think I have the same basic stuff. It's just a matter of getting the game experience coupled with being around a solid staff, a veteran staff, that you can learn a lot from just by watching how they go about their work. And I think it's a combination of both of those things.
What do you think of the Coneheads?
I'm a little overwhelmed about that. It was kind of unexpected, and certainly it's good to be on the right side of the fans in New York. Obviously, it can go the other way pretty fast here, and I'm just happy to get off to a good start and to have them behind me.
Recently, Roberto Guerrero was crowding the plate when Cone hit him with a curveball. The Dodger threw his bat and was suspended for 4 days. Cone wasn't troubled by the incident, feels no pressure about his perfect record.
I'm just trying to be consistent. I've been told that, hey, you're 7-0, you got a chance to break a Met record, do you put any pressure on yourself? I'm trying not to. I'm trying just to take it game by game and just try to establish myself as a consistent pitcher.
At the French Open,
the controversy involved between
Fastball, he got him. And we'll continue with that story when we come back. A 1-2-3 inning for Cone, and the score at the end of 1/2 inning, the Cubs nothing, the Mets coming up.
Swing and a miss at the breaking ball. 7 strikeouts for Cone, 2 away.
Well, this is the pitch that Rusty Staub doesn't like, the little sidearm slider. But David Cone, who said he learned that from Gaylord Perry, loves it.
Cone heads are quite active. Curveball gets him. Strikeout number 8 for David Cone. So throw another Cone up in Cone corner. No score, middle of the 7th. Now let's join Lee Zeidman in our studios for a Sports Channel update.
Dawson with that pitch.
Swing and a miss. 9 strikeouts for Cone. Quickly becoming a fan favorite here at Shea. No score, middle of the 8th.
Schiraldi.
They have had only an infield hit by Kevin McReynolds right there in your picture. David checking the pitching.
And they both have had 77 strikes.
How about that?
Out of those pitches that were thrown. So as we go to the top of the 10th time, a starting pitcher has gone into the 10th inning for the New York Mets. High fly ball to deep right center. It's way back. Strawberry to the wall, and it is gone. Goodbye. David Cone giving up a home run to Barry Hill, and the Cubs have scored, and they lead it by a score of 1-0. For Barry Hill, it is his first home run of the season.
And he'll never forget it, regardless of what happens. As a matter of fact, it's his first major league home run. Damon Berryhill's first major league home run to put the Cubs on top 1-0 on an 0-2 count. The first home run given up by Cone since the 4th of April.
And that will end the inning. But on the home run by Damon Berryhill, the Cubs lead after 9.5 innings by a score of 1-0. Now let's join Lee Zeiman in our studios for a Sports Channel update.
Thank you.
Average rate this year in his relief appearances. And that pitch hit deep to left field. It will not stay fair. So on the first pitch, Kevin McReynolds hits it far.
Commiserating there.
McReynolds 1 for 3 tonight, and a slider hit up the middle. And the Mets have the time run on here in the bottom of the 10th inning. They had their lead batter on in the 9th inning. Wally Backman singled up the middle.
If you remember last year, first time that the Padres were in town, it was Goose Gossage who had some bad words to say about Kevin McReynolds. Matter of fact, it was in Sports Illustrated. Said that Kevin did not hustle all the time in San Diego and that he was cheating himself. McReynolds.
And the Mets are down to their last out. He has not been near that production. He said he won 43 with no home runs and 5 runs batted in.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it is his first appearance against him. There goes the runner. Big jump. The throw by Berryhill is high. McReynolds steals second base, and the Mets have a runner in scoring position on the stolen base by Kevin McReynolds.
That was a timing play. He had seen Gossage come home, home, home. He timed it. Has a huge jump. Nothing Berryhill can do. Now, for the most part, you don't need the extra base hit to drive in McReynolds.
Back to Mazzilli. It's strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he tries a breaky ball, a slider. Giraldi a chance to win it. And Mazzilli taps it. It is again fouled. And the slider is fouled by a sensational relief pitcher. Again, the 2-2 pitch. Line to right field. It's a base hit. McReynolds will score, and the ball game is tied up at 1.
Mazzilli's 4th pinch hit RBI on the year, and what a big one. Brother. Sandberg got a glove on it. McReynolds scoring easily because with 2 outs, he's taken off. What a big hit for that man.
Base hit coming with a 2-2 count. The Mets down to their last out, and now they've tied it up. There goes Mazzilli. Berryhill's throw is in the dirt, and the tag is made by Dunston as he covers, and we go to the 11th. In the inning, 1 run on 2 hits, no one left on base, and the score at the end of 10, it's Chicago 1, the New York Mets 1. Lee Mazzilli tied it up with 2 men out in the 10th inning. Here's a reaction from both pitchers. Calvin Giraldi, who was the winning pitcher, loses his chance to be the winner, and David Cohn gets off the hook as the losing pitcher. Both of those pitchers pitched brilliant baseball, giving up only 5 base hits a pitch. Extra bases. McReynolds over to field it. His throw to second base. Berryhill going for second, and he slides in safely. The ball gets away, but Backman quickly gets to it. So the bases are loaded on the intentional walk. Randy Myers starting the throw in the bullpen for the Mets. No one out. And a great sinker by Roger McDowell. And part of the job has been done by Roger McDowell as Davy Johnson is going out to the mound, and he's going to go to his left-hand pitcher, Randy Myers. So Roger leaving the ball games.
That ranks 3rd in the National League. And you see his ERA, even though that's not as important for a short reliever. We talk about it.
And the pitch on the way, ball 3, and now Randy Myers in deep trouble. It's right in there, a called strike.
Myers.
The 3-1 pitch. Strike 2, and it's now
wants to talk to Trio. This might be one of those bunt plays where they send the runners and he just tries to make contact. Running.
Keith Hernandez has moved in front of the runner at first. And now the pitch. The runner is running. They got a trap man between home and third. The throw back to Myers, and he makes the tag. It's a strikeout double play, and they get out of the inning. Randy Myers strikes out Manny Trio, and Tim McCarver called it perfectly, except it was a swing instead of a bunt. What was going on? Somebody had to really mess up there.
I'll tell you one thing, that's a play that I had heard about that the Cubs were talking about in spring training. Bases loaded, everybody runs in the hope that the ball is put in play. The difference is, and the problem is, the ball was not put in play by Trio. It was actually a hit and run with the bases loaded. The only other time I saw that used was when Jerry Grody was the hitter in 1969 when Gil Hodges put it on against the Cardinals. I was catching. That's the only other time I've ever seen it.
So the Mets get out of it, and we go to the bottom half of the 12th. The score still tied at 1-1.
All of the runners are running. Trio swings through it. And the throw, Randy Myers with the put out of Vance Law. How about that? It's almost a hit, and well, it is a hit and run play. Palmeiro, fly ball, right field. Strawberry, Dykstra, and Dykstra makes the play. One out. That 12th inning when we come back. 1-1 game, middle of the 13th, but first let's join Lee Zeidman for a Sports Channel.
I've never seen that play that they tried to pull, I'll tell you that.
Deep to center. Out of here, home run! Howard Johnson wins it for the Mets in the bottom of the 13th inning. Oh, brother, what a ball game. I just don't believe it. Kevin Elster in the bottom of the 11th the other night. And now it's Howard Johnson. Deep to center. Now watch Darren Jackson.
This ball over the center field fence. It just kept carrying as Howard Johnson hits his 9th home run of the year. And the Mets pull it out on their last swing of the game. Elster had done the same against Alejandro Pena in the victory in 11 innings over the Dodgers, and now Howard Johnson does it here. And that is only the 2nd home run. Make that the 4th home run given up by Tipino. And the Mets win it by a score of 2-1 in one of the most exciting ball games we've seen since day before yesterday.
That is well put. And the winning pitcher in both games, Randy Myers. We'll be talking about the 12th inning in this game, the top of the 12th, forever. The Mets win it 2-1 in 13 innings. Now let's join Lee Zeidman in our studios for an update. So long until tomorrow night. Thanks for watching Mets Baseball on Sports Channel. Your stop for a long Subway Series summer if all the games are like this. Good evening, everybody.
Puts all the pieces together, blending a tradition rich in memories with innovation and the latest in television technology. Great moments come alive on NBC Sports.
This afternoon, most of you will see the National League's leading hitter, Rafael Palmeiro, and the Chicago Cubs against Keith Hernandez and the National League East leading New York Mets. some of you will see shortstop.
The Mets are having fun.
It was hot in the Mets dugout last night. Coach Bud Harrelson victimized by the old hot foot. The Mets are having fun in first place, but their bats were anything but hot. Chicago starter Jamie Moyer pitching a 3-hit shutout. He threw only 88 pitches, going the distance. Cubs over the Mets 5-0. Of course, there is much more to this incident than meets the eye. It actually began 2 weeks ago at Dodger Stadium, where Pedro Guerrero was hit by David Cone in an ongoing feud. Guerrero unleashed his bat and was subsequently suspended for 4 games. That set the stage for this week when Belcher plunked Kelvin Elster. And that gave both Belcher and Lasorda an early night. And joining us this afternoon, Tommy Lasorda from Dodger Stadium, where he's preparing.
The game of the week is there with Tony.
All right, thank you, Bob. Darrell, can you remember a Mets team that you've been on going this period of time, almost a couple of weeks, with scoring very few runs?
No, not really, Tony. I think right now what we're doing offensively, we're just trying a little bit too hard and trying to make things happen when we're not relaxed enough and just going out and doing the things that come naturally to the ball club. And we're just putting a lot of pressure on ourselves to score runs. I think if we just go back out there and just relax and be confident in what we have to do, everything else will take care of itself.
They have hung the tag superstar on Darryl Strawberry, and the superstar is supposed to carry a ball club with his bat when it's going poorly. Does that put an added personal burden on you?
Well, it does put a lot of pressure on yourself. You put more pressure on yourself to try to be successful when you have that burden on you. And I think any young player that has to go through that will realize that you can't pressure yourself. You just have to go out there and try to relax. And in my case, I go out there and I try to relax now and try to have fun and do whatever I can do to help us win the ball game.
You were supposed to blow the Eastern Division National League away from spring training on. It's getting a little tighter now at Pittsburgh. The Cardinals win last night. Do you feel there's an overconfidence factor in this ball club?
Well, I don't feel that we're overconfident ourselves. I think most people don't understand that the Pittsburgh Pirates have a great young ball club like we had when we first came up and started building our ball club to be winners, and they learned how to win. And also the Cardinals, you can't never count the Cardinals out. They got Vince Coleman, Ozzie Smith, and the speedsters over there, guys that can make things happen. Now they got Bernanke, who's having a great season for them, a big, strong power hitter, and it makes a big difference when you get players like Bernanke, and the Cardinals have made a turnaround, and you can't really count any ball club out.
Darryl, our thanks to you. Good luck with that pull groin muscle. It's going to be a wet turf out here today. We'll be back to Shea Stadium. He tries to come in and jam him now. Jody Davis sitting up inside.
Here's a ball well hit to left center field. Well enough to get the run home. McReynolds also tags at first, but he's just bluffing. Strawberry cruises home. Sac fly for Lions. 1-0 Mets. It would take one of Strawberry's best shots to drive one through this wind and out of the park today. At least until this rain passes over. Because that ball was well hit by Lions, at least well enough to make the warning track as they waited out. Looks like a ghosts convention. Well, they're playing in Los Angeles. The Reds and the Dodgers. Let's go. But you're going to hit it on the ground. 2-2 with the runner going here. Here's the throw from Lyons. He got him. And he needed a perfect throw to barely nip Sandberg at second.
Some feel now that both Lyons and Mackey Sasser throw better than Gary Carter.
1-0 Mets, middle of the fourth. Rolled toward the hole. Backman with a diving stop. Got him. So Palmeiro, the league's leading hitter, at .343 coming into the game, is robbed of a hit. Now 0 for 3 this afternoon, and after 5.5, still 1-0 Mets.
Sculpture has been thinking about for all these years. You know, when you have a Keith Hernandez playing to your left as a second base, today it's Magadan, of course, you normally shade more up the middle. And that's the kind of player. This is what you got.
Punishments. All right, Strawberry's doubled and walked. Smacks one to center. Back goes Martinez. Stumbles on the track, and it hits the fence. It was playable until he fell down. Magadan coming home. Strawberry has a triple. The wet turf turned what could have been a long out into an RBI triple.
And there's a little rise right there at the edge of the turf. and the little cinder track. Would have been catchable. Would have gotten there. When he took his eye off the ball, started running sideways, he looked for the warning track. Most outfielders, and of course, they do not have a warning track in Wrigley Field. And you don't know where you are. I don't believe they do. Did they put one in lately? Okay, I'll backtrack on
Alcohol test. The 2-2 pitch. He slaps it by the diving Law. And the Mets have a 3-0 lead. Just what you were talking about earlier, Tony.
Well, those backdoor breaking balls can be very effective if you got the right umpire behind home plate, an undisciplined hitter. But he tried it once too often.
Or cream soda. Following in the footsteps of such celebrated oddballs as Jay Johnstone and Tug McGraw, meet baseball's newest clown prince, Mets relief pitcher Roger McDowell. His gags include teammate impersonations and his soon-to-be famous dugout handstand.
The worst part about that was I had to put my uniform pants on, and you know, I'm kind of tall and thin, and there wasn't a whole lot of room, so I had to put my head in with one of my arms, which looked like one of my legs. Next time, I think we're going to get Rusty Staub's old pants so that we have that baggage there and have the extra added area where I can put my head in, and hopefully it'll look a little bit more realistic.
All right, Roger, we'll wait with bated breath for that one, but for now, welcome to the club. You're a most inventive character of the game.
Pound him right back in there.
Goes away, reaches for it. Slow roller. Good play by Darling, but there was no one at third. His thought was to continue with his momentum and just shovel the ball over to Howard Johnson for a possible force, which would have been a spectacular play, but Hojo held up completely in the Laker-Mavericks series. Home team won every game. Lakers prevail in 7, and of course they'll have the home floor, and they had scored. He came in with the bases loaded and nobody out. He walked the pinch hitter Darren Jackson to force home. Broken bat grounded to second. All they could get was the out at first as another run came in. So suddenly it's a 1-run game at 3-2. Nobody was contemplating any change from that. Looks like he got out of it. Elster in a hurry. Got him, but barely.
That's why you tell the mettle of a middle infielder, especially a shortstop. Jose Martinez will argue with Bob Engel, the first base umpire, but when you make a play under pressure with Sandberg running, you got a good jump out of the batter's box because he was going out after a pitch, and that was Kevin Elster.
They scored 2, leave the bases loaded, and it's 3-2 Mets. Sandberg reaches for it.
Great footwork. Elster had the runner off second, flash in front of him, and there was an argument on the play, but from that angle you see that they had him by maybe a few inches. It was a bang-bang play, and Engel,
who was 2 for 3 against Darling. He's hit 6 homers this year, and he laces one into the glove of Elster. What a great play. That ball was just a blur.
You can take all the physical attributes you want, and your best athlete's going to be your shortstop. We all know that. But the one thing, the criteria that is very seldom used to rate shortstop is, does he make the big play late in the game? And now he's made 3 with this one now. Outstanding plays late in the ball game. When Howard Johnson ran in front of him to barely get Sandberg with a runner going across, a good runner, and now he makes this one. And he has the foresight to come down to one. He is 0 for 11 as a pinch hitter.
First pitch swinging, and he comes through. The game is tied and then some. The Cubs have the lead. 4-3 Chicago. They have 8 hits, 7 of them in the 8th and 9th. 7 singles in the last 2 innings. Darling will not be a winner today.
To have veterans coming off the bench.
Backman can. His play is to first. Palmeiro goes 0 for 5. His batting average as of this moment, Steve Horn tells us, is .335. But far more importantly, 2 RBIs on the pinch single by Trio, 4-3 Cubs.
Now his fastball no longer 99, 98. It's in the low 90s.
And Johnson hammers the first pitch for a base hit. The Mets' 9th inning and extra inning comebacks all season, and especially this week, have been astounding. They won 1 in extra innings after trailing 4-2 after the top of the 10th against the Dodgers.
Elster wound up winning it with an extra inning homer. The next night they came back and rallied in the 9th and barely fell short. They trailed 1-0 in the 10th here Thursday, came back and won. He gets the bunt down in front of the plate. Jody Davis makes the play. Sandberg covers. Successful sacrifice. Elster is due to be the hitter. He's walking. Mazzilli's RBI pinch single with 2 out in the bottom of the 10th tied the game on Thursday night. This ball might drop in. It's going to drop. Let's see if Perlaza waves him home. No, they stop him at third.
Howard Johnson didn't read that ball well at all. The ball, if he had checked his outfield, Dawson was playing fairly deeply for Mazzilli. Was nowhere near to catching it. He hesitated between second and third. Obviously, he didn't want to get doubled off, and there still is only 1 out. If there are a lot of base runners who had read that right, they would have scored.
Now, here's an interesting move. Mookie Wilson was on deck. He's been called back, and it's Carter who's appeared in the on-deck circle.
Well, stop. So his rhythm may be upset with this new ball code being called.
The 0-1 pitch. Hit toward the hole and through. The Mets have tied it. An unbelievable ball game. Mazzilli stops at second on the pinch single by Carter. Just joining us, Darling had a 1-hitter through 7. The Cubs got 7 singles combined in the 8th and 9th off Darling and 2 relievers. We're going to extra innings at Shea Stadium. Carter came through and will play at least 1 more.
Another one you could question. He'd had Magadan in there, still had Hernandez bat left. For extra innings. He's in the lineup, but you can't place him where you want to. At least
slightly over 300 for the season. Leach with the payoff. A little pop into shallow center field. It might drop in. Dykstra racing hard, and he got there. Oh, he had a lot of ground to cover. He was playing Davis deep in center.
He took 1 step back, got fooled, didn't realize the ball's hit on the end of the bat, and then with that quickness, and some say he's the best athlete on this team, he all but outruns the ball, makes a nice running catch.
He might not be the best. There's no one any more fearless. He'll run into walls, dive headlong. He got it done there.
Turned into evening last night here at Shea as Kevin McReynolds led off the bottom of the 13th inning with a home run into the left field bullpen to give the Mets another dramatic victory, a 6-5 win over the Chicago Cubs. The 3rd time in a week that the Mets had won in extra innings on a home run, and the 10th time this season they have won a game in their final at-bat. Again, they conclude the 4-game series with the Cubs this afternoon right here on Channel 9.
Good.